Hello and welcome inside Yost Ice Arena for another presentation of WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan hockey. We have the second of a weekend two-game series between the Michigan Wolverines and the number 6 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Michigan won last night's game 4-2, looking to finish off a sweep, which is something they've struggled with quite a bit this year. Ohio State looking to grab one of this weekend's two. I'm Alex Drain, joined by Charlie Goodwin. Just about 20 seconds to puck drop last night. A very physical, entertaining battle. What are you looking for here today?
I'm looking to see more of the same physicality we saw last night. Obviously, bitter rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State. Although maybe not famous for a rivalry on the ice, still a rivalry nonetheless. So I'm expecting to see some more fights, and hopefully Michigan can do what they had trouble doing all season and finish out a sweep here at Yost for these seniors tonight.
It is senior night. Joe Ciccone, the captain of the Wolverines, along with Brendan Warren and Nick Boca, the senior class for the Wolverines, but also the last regular season game for Quinn Hughes, as the Canucks have already signaled that they will sign him and bring him to the NHL as soon as the Michigan season is complete. So a lot on the line here tonight, and the last opportunity for the senior class to make an impression on their way out. Starting the game is that top line for the Wolverines of Pastuov, Lockwood, and Becker, going up against Mason Yost and company to start off this game. Yost and Pastuov put the sticks down, and the Wolverines win. It is a maze out here tonight, as the crowd were all given Maze free t-shirts, and the Wolverines in their Maze uniforms. Jack Becker brings it up into the offensive zone. He takes a shot that goes wide of the Buckeye netminder. Now along the wing, Pastuov picks it off in the neutral zone, but then quickly handed back over to Ohio State. They're wearing the all-scarlet uniforms, as they did last night. Now an opportunity for Yost down low. His shot gets blocked by Ciccone as he wheels around the boards, now sends it back down low. Nice check applied by Pastuov on Pooley, and then Sasha Larocque, one of the two Ohio State captains, comes in and makes a run at it, but Michigan is able to get it out, and both teams in the process of a change. Down low, Ohio State takes it away from the Wolverines, and they settle back up behind their own net. Important to note tonight that the Wolverines starting Strauss Mann, he gets both starts this weekend, which is not something that's happened most of this year, but he had a very, very good performance last night, and Hayden Levine's been struggling as of late, so Michigan is sticking with the Connecticut freshman, James Lambert, in his own zone. A four-man scrum along the boards. Boca applies a check, and Summers is able to dig it out. Summers had a pretty good game last night. The defense overall was pretty strong. Couple bad odd man rushes, and here's Lambert coming up one-on-one on the left wing side. Going to slow down, gives it to Boca, who joins the rush, and Boca tried to throw it to the front of the net. Couldn't find anybody, and now trying to get it out there is Carson Meyer back to the neutral zone, where picking it up is the freshman Jimmy Lambert. He had the fourth and final goal last night for the Wolverines on the power play to seal a 4-2 victory, scored with about 90 seconds to go in that game. Blankenberg chips it to the neutral zone for Nolan Moyle. He was the first star of the night and the big story of the game. Moyle had 2 goals, including the game winner with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to break a 2-2 tie. It was a tight game all the way through, and then Michigan was able to pull it out with some clutch goals at the end as Moyle chips it deep. A lot of penalties in the early going of the game, and then it was a more clean third period, but always lots of checking. The referees very much let these two teams play. Now a big scrum, about 4 or 5 guys down behind that, and an opportunity out in front for Dakota Raby. And then a giveaway, a shot! Oh, just going high and over top of Tommy Napier. That fourth line for the Wolverines of Garrett Van Wy, Dakota Raby, and Nolan Moyle has just been magnificent over the last month and a half, creating chances there. You normally don't look to your fourth line for offense, but they have been great down the stretch run for the Wolverines. Strauss Mann comes out to play it behind his own net as both teams were changing. Ciccone taps it over to Luke Morgan into the neutral zone. Brendan Warren, one of the seniors, gets some help from Adam Winborg. Griffin Luce picks it out. Morgan, nice touch pass to Brendan Warren. He weaves into the zone. Warren cuts out wide, and a shot from Ciccone at the point, blocked in front of the net. Looked like Larocque got his body on it, and he comes up down the left wing side. Morgan tries to center, and then a puck to the middle. An opportunity for the Buckeyes goes wide of the net. Yost gets to it as it rattles around in the Michigan defensive end. About 3.5 minutes of continuous play to start this game. No whistles. Very fast-paced. Wimborg with the poke check into the neutral zone. Yops picks it up, skating very wide as both teams in the midst of the change. Yops gets across the blue line, and then a great stick check by Nick Pastrov. He leads a 2-on-3 rush the other direction. Pastrov comes in, takes a shot right into the body of Napier, and already we see some pushing after the play. Pastrov on Larocque.
Yeah, this has been good neutral zone hockey so far. Not really too much possession time for either team. No setting up in the offensive zone. Besides that huge miscue by the Buckeyes, which led to the Dakota Raby shot on goal, hasn't been a great opportunity for either team to score a goal. And we see set in this game, only 4 minutes in.
Be a face-off to the side of Napier in the Ohio State defensive zone. Napier getting the start tonight. And there's an opportunity right off the draw on a shot. Sean Romeo was in net last night for the Buckeyes. Romeo entered the season as the very clear starter for Ohio State, but Napier has been tremendous, a sophomore from St. Louis, and it's turned into a tandem. Now Michigan still holding it in their offensive end. Jake Slaker turns on a dime, curls, waits, pass all the way across, and then out of the zone as Hughes could not corral that one. Turning around and leaving it for Ciccone. Ciccone's going to do a pass through the center, looking for Slaker. They say it got deflected, so no icing. Lambert applies a good check, and Mike Pastrov takes a shot from a bad angle that gets a piece of the pad of Napier, and then getting swallowed up down behind was Slaker.
The Wolverines not really having time to get anything set up so far, nor are, as the Buckeyes are not either. Really no possession time for the Wolverines or the Buckeyes yet. But should change pretty soon.
A lot of tussling back and forth. Not a lot of great looks so far. Stretch pass goes up high into the air and into the glove of Napier. He's in trouble, loses the puck down behind the net. And Becker picks it back up, tries to wrap it around and jam it home. Man, oh man, Napier just getting way too... I don't know, thinking on that play. He kind of just stood there and waited and waited and waited and make no play with it, and then coming up from behind him and almost causing a goal there. The Wolverines attackers, Nolan Moyle grabs a rebound off a long pass in, and now the Buckeyes break out the other direction. Freddie Girard, who helped create a goal in the game last night, brings it on in. It was his shot that created a rebound that Tanner Lisinski punched in for what was at the time a 2-1 Ohio State lead. Michigan would score the final 3 unanswered to win the game, going down towards Mann where he puts his glove down. Lisinski crashing the net hard, gets pushed off to the side.
You know, if you're watching this game, it looks like the Wolverines are really outplaying the Buckeyes because of they have 5 shots and the Buckeyes 0. But it's more just the Buckeyes having like 1 or 2 miscues this period so far that have almost led to 1 or 2 Wolverine goals. Neither team is really playing better hockey right now. It's just a question of where the puck's bouncing so far, and that's the Wolverines right now.
Yeah, it's been very sloppy by Ohio State. They look a little sleepy out of the gate, which is sort of how Michigan started the second period last night, and Mel Pearson quickly took a timeout to try to change the momentum. Don't think that Steve Rawlik will do that this early for Ohio State, but we'll see how things turn. The shot's 5-0 in favor of the Wolverines. They have the sign in the children of Yost, Napier eats dinner at 4 p.m. Children of Yost all into it. They got the memo about the maize out. General admission about 50% blue, 50% maize, even though they were provided the free t-shirts on every seat. There's a draw, one back to the point, and now an opportunity for Tanner Lisinski. High-rising shot, good pass from Gordy Meyer to find Tanner Lisinski on the right side. Lisinski, one of the 2 goal scorers last night for Ohio State, the very talented junior. Now a takeaway for Garrett Van Wy. He finds Nolan Moyle in the middle. He's looked for him, couldn't quite connect with him on the stick, and now they go down low. Van Wy in front of the net, had it taken away, and out come Ohio State the other direction. Lisinski left wing side, and he was offsides.
Yeah, Gordy Meyer was offsides by literally just the tip of the skate there. If he held up a couple for just half a second, that could have been a real opportunity for the Buckeyes. You cannot let the Buckeyes set up in the offensive zone. Very dangerous team offensively, number 6 in the country right now. Second in the Big Ten. They're a dangerous team.
Yost and Winborg to do the draw. Saccone gets it back after Winborg is able to win that one. Hughes lays it behind to Saccone. He skates just across center and takes a long shot in, right into the glove of Tommy Napier, who holds on for a face-off. Of course, important weekend for the Big Ten. Just 4 games remaining for 6 of the 7 teams entering this weekend. Now only 3 for most of them, including Michigan. They play Ohio State tonight, and then a couple games in Madison against the Badgers next weekend, and that's the end of the regular season. And Michigan pretty much has to win the Big Ten tournament to get into the NCAA tournament this season, but it feels attainable given that they have beaten every Big Ten team at least once. Here's Hughes skating right off the faceoff. He's going to curl around behind the net, turns, takes a shot from a bad angle, and it goes right through the crease. Brendan Warren couldn't tap it in back door, and Hughes quickly getting back to pick it back up, and there's that superb skating of Quinn Hughes that makes him such a highly sought-after NHL prospect, a top 10 pick in last year's draft, considered one of the 3 or 4 best prospects in the NHL. There's a shot! Oh, off the goal post! Hughes was celebrating, and he thinks there was a goal. The puck is still down lower. Luke Morgan is battling. The children of Yost is celebrating. I think we have to get a review of that.
That looked like it 100% went in. I don't know how that's not a goal.
Now Ohio State chips it deep. For those who listened to our broadcast last night, there was a similar situation that was never reviewed, but Michigan didn't celebrate the way that Quinn Hughes did on that one, so it makes you think that Mel Pearson's going to demand a review whenever the next frozen puck is. Ohio State trying to break out, and there's a long stretch pass, goes off Witala. It's going to be an icing, so here's an opportunity to review it, if they will. Let's see what the referees decide to do. Mel Pearson is just screaming at the referees, it looks like, over from that bench. And now everyone's looking to see that replay. Yep, it was just off the top of the crossbar. That's a good call.
From the angle we had up here, it looked like that was definitely in the back of the net. And you don't really see players celebrate unless they're sure that the goal went in. So, very confusing situation right there, but it is in fact not a goal.
Yep, that was, I mean, Hughes had skated in from the top of the point, and it got deflected, and it was kind of a knuckle puck rolling on upwards towards the crossbar, and that's where it got a piece of it. That's pretty clear. Should not be a long review. We could tell kind of on one look what the story was on that one, but regardless, at 12:28 remaining in the first period, Michigan 7 shots to Ohio State 0. They really dictated play, especially turning it up these last 2 or 3 minutes. Ohio State needs to regroup.
Also, you see more about Quinn Hughes. You see the difference that Quinn Hughes makes when he's on the ice. The offense just becomes so more high-powered and so much more prone to scoring goals when he's out there. He makes things happen. In my opinion, he's an offensive defenseman.
Yeah.
Because he has superb skating skill. He likes to handle the puck himself a lot. Doesn't really like to set up for the slap shots from the point. He likes to kind of go deep into the zone and try to make things happen himself. Similar to sort of PK Subban, in my opinion.
Yeah. This has been a very lengthy review for something that seemed very clear-cut, at least to me, but I can never really tell what exactly they're reviewing on any given play. Referees down there in that box waiting. There's 2 of them looking at the monitor. Hughes seated on the bench, both teams waiting. It's a lucky break for Ohio State that the replay comes now off an icing, because normally they would have had to just go right back with no rest.
Yeah, this is one of the things that needs to be fixed in a lot of sports, the length of reviews by officials for things that are so easily seen on the first or second view. I know they want to call the game exactly the right way, but some things are just too obvious to drag on a 5-minute review.
Still waiting. Referees have taken the headsets off. Mason Yopst, the Ohio State captain, skating over there, waiting for the two referees to leave the penalty box, where they have been hunched over at the monitor for quite a while. Now here comes a third referee skating from the benches over to that side. The two referees about to exit, and we'll get an official word. And now one referee will skate over and talk to Mel Pearson.
I don't know what they could still be discussing, honestly.
Now it looks like there might be a penalty coming to Michigan. Brendan Warren is headed to the penalty box. That's what they might have been reviewing. I'm not sure what his particular play was.
This is one of the strange situations I've seen in a sporting event. I'm completely clueless as to what happened to send Brendan Warren to the penalty box right now.
Yeah, he's seated there. I don't believe he was on the ice at the time of the whistle.
It's a major penalty as well.
That's what it says on the screen. We'll see what stat broadcast shows. They're saying it's a 5-minute for kneeing on Brendan Warren. So this really changes things. And quickly, right off the faceoff, Michigan clears. This is a very interesting situation because the Wolverines' penalty kill not great, and Ohio State's got a pretty good power play. Michigan was very good on the penalty kill last night. They're going to need to come up big here, and it really gives Ohio State an opportunity to claw their way back into this game after just being blitzed to start this one. Summers digs it out. Boca, he can hold, and then will just promptly clear it past Van Wy. About already 40 seconds killed off just like that, with Ohio State not really doing anything in particular. Mann goes out behind to try to play it. Couldn't quite corral it. Witala and Yopst getting pushed there along the boards. Morgan, Blankenberg, everyone trying to dig it free. Blankenberg curls, and he is going to give it to Luke Morgan. Luke Morgan's going to do a one-on-one play down the left swing side, going to try to throw it towards the Ohio State net. Morgan battling in the corner. Michigan was very aggressive on the forecheck of the penalty kill last night, and were able to draw some penalties while shorthanded, which would be a big boost here. Down low, Yopst misplayed that one along the board. Saccone goes in after it. Girard and him battling against the boards in the corner. Winborg digs it out, but it goes to the top for Wyatt Egge. Egge will go to Girard at the point, and there's a nice redirection in front. Couldn't quite put it home. Carson Meyer and Ronnie Hine there. Meyer skates to the side. Shot blocked by Adam Winborg. Then Griffin Luce gets on it. Just needs to dig it free from that corner. Carson Meyer, everyone battling there. They've almost killed off the 2 minutes that it would normally be.
Still got more than half of it to go, though. That's the problem with the 5-minute minors.
And then Winborg clears it down. Going down to his knees was Quinn Preston. He wants a penalty and not going to get one. The crowd very happy about that. Michigan killed off now the first 2 minutes and 5 seconds of this as Ohio State regrouping. They really haven't gotten any good looks. One redirection in front of the net, and that was about it. Freddie Girard to Ronnie Hine. They couldn't enter the zone properly. This has been a great kill so far for the Wolverines, but they can't let up. And now Ronnie Hine is offsides. Ohio State all out of sorts right now.
Yeah, even with the man advantage they have right now, the Wolverines still seem to be in their heads, taking up their offensive workspace. You would think that Ohio State would regroup with that huge shift of momentum from possibly being down 1 goal to having a great opportunity to be up 1 goal, but they haven't really done anything with this 5-minute power play yet.
Now the crowd booing something. Oh, it was Quinn Preston's stick had gone up into the stands, and the fans there who had caught it were forced to give it back and weren't too happy about that. The face-off going to be Mason Yopst against Garrett Van Wy. 2:39 remaining in the penalty to Brendan Warren. 10:07 remaining in period number 1. Yopst is pushed backwards as the children of Yost yelling some things. And Yopst does eventually win it. Van Wy and Raby, the 2 penalty killing forwards. It's Summers and Boca there, and then a great poke check by Dakota Raby. He had an opportunity to try to break away with it, and then he fell down, but still continuing to repel an Ohio State rush. Buckeyes, long pass up. Here's John Witala down the left wing side. Leaves it behind himself for Gordy Meyer. Now Garrett Van Wy fell down. Meyer comes in, takes a shot. Rebound off to the corner. Tanner Lisinski. Lisinski across to Tommy Miller. Over to Yops. 2:04 remaining. Michigan's killed off 3 minutes of it. Yops goes down low, looking for Lisinski, trying to dig it out. Raby couldn't quite get to it. Now he's aggressively forechecking, and he's able to poke it free. Ohio State's still offsides. They can't touch it. And now Raby picks it up. Oh! And it got Yopst in the head as he was just trying to clear, and then it went off Yopst's helmet. And now they're saying the face-off should be in Michigan zone. Yeah, that's a terrible call. And other referees quickly overrule that. Not sure how the guy closest to the play was the most wrong on that one, but very clearly went off the head of Mason Yops. So the face-off just outside the Michigan blue line. Wolverines have killed 3 minutes and 14 seconds of this power play, but there's still $1:46 remaining. Ohio State's only mustered, I think, 1 shot on the power play. 2. An extended face-off battle, and finally picked up. Blankenberg clears it down with 1:35 remaining. 9:03 to go in period number 1. Ohio State behind their own net, trying to break it out. Here comes Tommy Miller. He puts it on deep. Griffin Luce goes in after it. Luce digging it. Morgan, Gerard, everyone trying to find it. And just tapped out to the point. Here's Wyatt Eggy. Eggy skates left to right, over to Freddie Gerard. Down low, looking for Ronnie Hine. Back to Eggy. He skates over to the side. They try to go down low. Freddie Gerard trying to push it home. Winborg can't quite clear it out. 56 seconds remaining in the power play. Hine at the point. Over to Wyatt Eggy. Across to Freddie Gerard. To the middle. A shot. They score.
That's just extremely disappointing. Nothing to be mad about for these Wolverines. They worked for over 4 minutes, and just eventually when you're a man down for that long, something bad is bound to happen, and it just came at the very end, unfortunately, just crushing the Wolverines' hopes to kill off that entire power play.
Freddie Gerard's pass to the middle to Carson Meyer, who put it home. And because it is a major, Warren will remain in the box for the final 48 seconds. Slaker to do the draw as Ohio State takes the 1-0 lead, but they were ahead 1-0 last night. Michigan came from behind, a 1 goal down twice in that game. And overall, before this power play, had been dominating the game. They just need to get back to full strength and ensure that they can get out of this final 33 seconds unscathed. Saccone picks it up. He'll send it around the boards and back out. Lockwood goes chasing in after it. 25 seconds remaining, but Napier comes out to find it. He shovels it along the boards, then back to the other side. 19 seconds remaining. Shot still 7-3 Michigan. Ohio State hasn't gotten a lot of great looks on the power play. Just one pretty good one. And now another shot high and rising. Blocked with the blocker there by Strauss-Mann. 3 seconds, 2. Out of the box comes Brendan Warren. Lisinski's got it nice side, and now here comes Quinn Hughes. Can he create an opportunity down the right wing side? Hughes cuts to the middle. Curling outside, leaves it behind. Pastuov takes a shot. Huge rebound there, and not much could happen. Saccone plays that one with a high stick, and we'll have a whistle with 7:10 remaining. And we finally get the under 10 media timeout.
You know, there's really not much to complain about for Michigan right now. They are down 1-0, but it's kind of hard to kill off that entire power play, as we've said before. I think they're still playing better hockey than Ohio State.
Yeah.
They've just got a little unlucky with Quinn Hughes' shot hitting the crossbar and Brendan Warren Brendan Warren receiving that major. I think they're going to turn this around, though.
They just have to get back to the way they were playing in 5-on-5 prior to that unfortunate circumstance. I have to say, I think the one big thing that referees have to do across all the sports is that there needs to be a greater deal of transparency in the review process, and more importantly, communication between the referees and the fans of what's going on. And, you know, there's a lot of criticisms to be had of the way football reviews stuff, but at the very least, they announce the calls before and after they begin reviewing them. Like this, you know, the crowd thinks they're reviewing a potential goal, and instead, you know, they come out and assess a 5-minute penalty. I assume that's the right call, but the crowd just needs to know what's going on. This shouldn't be a thing where
I'd like
TVs
them to at least show what the penalty was.
Because the Jumbotron at Yost just kept showing the goal situation and made no mention of the actual thing they were reviewing, which, again, it just leaves the fans totally out of the loop and confused. So we're out of the timeout, 7:10 remaining. Slaker and Brandon Kearney to do the draw. Slaker wins it. Slaker now manning that second line with Mike Pastujov on his left and Jimmy Lambert on his right. In the corner, Summers gets taken advantage of, and the puck comes free to Ohio State. That's a bad giveaway by Summers, who kind of panicked, and then Michigan repelling that potential try by the Buckeyes. Napier comes out to play it himself rather than trying to force a potential icing. Ohio State tries to break into the zone. Battled for down low. A lot of pushing and shoving there between Sam McCormick and Slaker. Boca and Summers both pinned up against the boards. A lot of fighting. No one knows where the puck officially is.
Looks like a fight is about to break out between Boca and McCormick.
Yeah, a lot of physicality there. And now Lambert, a big check on Tommy Perrin right there. Lambert trying to still get it out. And now finally he does. It's to Boca. Boca just across center, and he'll dump it all the way back down. Both teams in the midst of changes. Long stretch pass goes too far. Hughes picks it up. Nice pass to Lockwood, who just couldn't find it. Now Hughes cuts off the zone entry by Ohio State. Behind the back pass looking for Becker, who didn't see it, but it goes out in the neutral zone. Ohio State has to reset. O'Connell lost it to Hughes. To Pastujov, to Lockwood. Lockwood gets hit hard there by Wyatt Egge on the blue line, and then Pastujov bumps into Ronnie Hine. 5:23 remaining in the first period. Ohio State 1, Michigan 0. Girard with the putt. He skates in across the blue line. That's a nice feed to Ronnie Hine, who puts the shot wide of the net. Now out to the point. O'Connell looking to get it to the middle to Lisinski. Now Saccone walls him off in a nice play. Becker has to try and chip it free. Hughes picks it up, and there's that classic 360 spin by Quinn Hughes. And Michigan finally gets it to the middle. Nick Pastujov coming down the side. He's got Becker, who lost it, then re-finds it. Becker on the left side gives it off to Lockwood, who leaves it behind himself. Loose at the point, bounced it down. Lockwood, right wing side. And Pastujov couldn't quite cut off that centering pass, and here come the Buckeyes to the middle. Egge leading the rush, now getting it down low, and that's a decent shot by Ohio State. And then an odd rebound, stays in the middle instead of cycling to the top. Egge along the boards, harassed by Pastujov. Now here's a potential rush for Blankenberg and Lockwood. Ohio State trying to back check. Lockwood to Blankenberg to the middle. Shot scored! Nick Blankenberg, the defenseman, joining the rush, and a beautiful play by him.
And that was a beautifully executed odd man rush by Will Lockwood and Nick Blankenberg. Lockwood taking the puck all the way down the side of the ring, and then passing it across to the wide open Blankenberg, who deked out Tommy Napier for the goal.
Yeah, that Blankenberg's a guy who has played a little bit of forward this year. Mel Pearson's moved him back and forth between defense and forward, and you can see why he had him do that, because a very beautiful finish, good hands, and a nice, beautiful pass from Will Lockwood to hit him right on the tape. Ohio State was trying to back check to prevent that opportunity and just couldn't do so, so Michigan ties it. 4:11 remaining in the first period. 1-1 game. Shots now 8-4 in favor of Michigan, and there's a shot from way outside that Straussman hangs on to, and we'll get a whistle coming to the right of man as we hit the under 5 media timeout.
That goal is just so huge for the Wolverines. The goal by Ohio State kind of makes them feel like they're falling behind in this game, even though they're right there with them. Just didn't have a couple things go their way. But that goal affirms the feeling that they're right there with Ohio State in this game, the better team in this contest.
It's certainly been an eventful first period. Also a pretty quick first period. Not a ton of whistles thus far. It's a couple Ohio State fans in attendance here tonight. Looks like 2 right about center ice, and then probably 5 or 6 on the far end, and then there's 1 line of them up near the top, probably a group of folks who came together, perhaps family members. There are some native Michiganders on the Ohio State team, including Quinn Preston, who attended high school with Vanessa Lichtar, a WCBN Sports member who was calling the game with me last night. She said she knows him pretty well. Ronnie Hine from Chelsea, Michigan, as well. And, yeah, Brandon Kearney from Northville, Michigan, as well. So, looks like 3 in the lineup. A lot of Ohioans, too. Oh, and Grant Gabriel, the 7th defenseman from Brighton. Draw 1 by the Wolverines, who chip it down. It's not going to be an icing, and Napier comes out to paddle it over to the side. Now Kearney has it taken away by Winborg. Now a potential opportunity for Michigan. Luke Morgan's got it well, and he throws it in on net. Randall, an opportunity. His shot goes right through Napier's legs, but it squirts out the far side because of the angle it was at. And then Witala can't quite chip it out. Michigan holds it in. Randall gets it down low and then gets absolutely clobbered by Kearney. And now pushed down low is Winborg as well. A lot of checking right now between these two teams. 3:23 remaining in period number 1. It's in the far corner. Ohio State finally brings it back out. Michigan starting to press a little bit harder. Carson Meyer goes around Summers, takes a shot from a bad angle, and Morgan scooped up the rebound, controls it. Both teams changing as Morgan will go quickly off. Boca up, and Van Wy tried to touch it, but he was not able to get anything on it, and so it'll be an icing. 3 minutes remaining in the first period.
Tommy Napier is a very lucky guy right now. Has Quinn Hughes' shot go off the crossbar, and just by virtue of Wolverines not having great angles on the shots that they've taken, has had the puck slide right past the net. And he hasn't been in good position, but he's saved it just because the Wolverines have had to take shots from bad angles due to the positioning of the Buckeye defensemen, who are really saving him in this game right now.
Something odd happened in that little exchange where Mel Pearson, I don't know if he was arguing about it being an icing, but he had pulled his guys over to the side, and the referees came over and told him, you have to go out, it's an icing. And he was kind of jawing with them, eventually relents and sends the 4th line out there. Puck down behind the Michigan net, picked up by Raby, who then lost it. Van Wy picks it up, and breaking out, Boca's going to join the rush. A 3-on-3, and then Boca just sends it wide of the net as it rims around. Van Wy down low, Nolan Moyle. Raby pushed it down. Now Ohio State comes out the other direction. Quinn Hughes, Saccone out there. A shot from the point by Hine hits the pad of man, and then Michigan comes up the other direction. 2:21 remaining. Ohio State carries it across center, losing it, and then just dumping it down as the Buckeyes in the midst of a change. Quinn Hughes is going to join the rush by himself. Freddie Girard comes up, gives it to Lambert on the right wing side. He puts a shot through the crease. Then Slaker at the point lost it. Hughes gets it back. He's going to skate to the middle and then lost it off his stick. And then a great job to pinch up by Michael Pastuov and hold it in the zone. Him and Lambert both down low. Lambert eventually came away with it and then lost it. Slaker picks it up. He's going to send it to Hughes at the top. Hughes skates down. He takes a shot, hits a body over to the side. Slaker, Saccone, he chips it deep. Lambert, Slaker looking for Lambert. Couldn't quite find him now along the boards. Pastuov there. Hughes tries to collect at center, then lost it. Ohio State, a potential opportunity, but Slaker a great back check to tie up Freddie Girard. Lambert to Hughes in the middle. Hughes has got to be tired, but he's going to continue out there. Lambert then lost it. He goes down, and now Kearney comes skating on the left wing side. Blankenberg checks him well. Pastuov comes in after it. And it's Michael Pastuov who had it for a second, lost it, still in the zone. Ohio State an extended opportunity. Carson Meyer throws a shot. Still in the zone, Gordy Meyer. Blankenberg, nice job to poke it past potential Buckeye, and then finally getting it out of the zone there. The Wolverines, 50 seconds remaining. Shots 11-6 in favor of the Wolverines, a 1-1 score. Nick Pastuov banks it off the boards, looking for Will Lockwood. Lockwood leaves it behind himself, couldn't quite get it out, getting a little too fancy as Blankenberg. It's a hard check. Nick Pastuov to Hughes, and Hughes dodges around to check. Just need to get it out of the zone. 30 seconds remaining in the period. We'll see if Michigan has one last rush. Lockwood breaks out with it to the neutral zone. Hands it off to Becker. Becker, nice little move to the middle. Pastuov, a shot is blocked. Now Becker goes in hard to the boards. Great job to get positioning. Couldn't come away with it. 15 seconds remaining. Becker applies a check down behind. 10 seconds left. Buckeyes come up, skating the length of the ice. Kearney along those boards, and Nick Pastuov plays it to the middle, and that'll just about do it. 1 second left. Preston, a hip check from Boca, and that will do it for the first period. Shots 11-7 in favor of the Wolverines. Score 1-1.
No complaints really that first period. If anyone's being sloppy, it's the Ohio State Buckeyes, not the Wolverines. That doesn't really show on the scoreboard since the score is 1-1, but I think if the Wolverines just keep doing what they're doing, they should come out with a win in this game. Playing better hockey right now. Got unlucky with Quinn Hughes' shot hitting the crossbar and then having to overcome a major penalty. Also a fairly quick period besides that long review on Quinn Hughes' goal. So I think if the Wolverines can just continue this style of play they have right now, they should look good for the night.
They're definitely playing pretty confidently at this current moment. A better start to this game than they have had a lot of this season, and they've battled inconsistency at different points of time. Any lost thoughts about that period?
No, I'm very pleased with how the Wolverines are playing right now, honestly. For a team that hasn't been that great all season or as good as they're supposed to be, they're playing good hockey right now, and I haven't seen any glaring mistakes.
Yep, been pretty strong from Michigan in that first period. We'll take a break for the first intermission and be back in about 12 minutes or so. All right, we are back here for the second period of action between the Michigan Wolverines and the number 6 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes in the second game of a 2-game weekend series. Michigan won, Ohio State won after the first period of play, a period that really was about 15 minutes of Michigan domination and then a 5-minute extended Ohio State power play, and that's how we got to a 1-1 point. Teams about to come back out onto the ice. What was your biggest takeaway from that period?
Biggest takeaway was that this game is probably going to be decided by a couple lucky bounces. Michigan could easily, they have 1 goal right now. Michigan can easily have 2 or 3 goals right now, but they have just missed these opportunities they've gotten, and Ohio State could very easily have no goals right now if Brendan Warren doesn't get that 5-minute major, which, by the way, still has not been shown on the Jumbotron here at Yost, so literally nobody knows what happened on that. But both teams playing pretty well. I would say Michigan's playing a better hockey game right now just because of the sloppiness of Ohio State on plays here and there. But I think it's going to just come down to a couple bounces, honestly, and sometimes that's just hockey.
Yep, certainly an interesting first period. Tommy Napier in net for Ohio State, I thought, was a little shaky, gave away a lot of rebounds and a lot of interesting looks. The goal scorers in the for the two teams, Michigan's goal came courtesy of Nick Blankenberg on a 2-on-1 rush with Will Lockwood, where he moved in on the play, and a beautiful feed to him. And Carson Meyer got the goal on the 5-minute power play for the Buckeyes. Michigan had killed off about 4.5 minutes of that 5-minute major, which was assessed to Brendan Warren for kneeing, which was the official word. We never saw the play, so don't really know if it was justified or not. But it was overall a pretty good penalty kill for Michigan. You just can't put yourself in situations where you're having to kill off 5 minutes successively. Getting ready for the second period face-off. Teams have switched ends, so Michigan will now be attacking in the end that's much more visible for us.
Hard to see this steel beam up here.
Yeah. Pastujov to do the draw with Yost. Michigan in the Mays out in the home alternate Mays jerseys. Crowd's been given those free Mays t-shirts. Saccone gives it off to Hughes as we are underway. Michigan winning the draw. Hughes carries it in past the zone. He had a goal last night, takes a shot high and rising just over top. Will Lockwood doing a good job to keep it in the zone. Look down low for Hughes, just couldn't find him. Becker there couldn't snag it, so it's Nick Pastujov looking for Hughes right around the red line by the goal mouth, down below. Will Lockwood tries to wrap it around, but a nice defensive play there from Quinn Preston, and then Pastujov goes sliding into the boards. Nick and Will Lockwood down there. Finally, Ohio State able to dig it out in their own end. Buckeyes haven't generated a whole lot of 5-on-5 chances in this game. Yost comes in, he takes a shot, blocked, and now picking it up. Out they come the other way. It's Lambert in this second line along with Michael Pastujov. Lambert takes a shot that just goes wide, fouls up the rebound well. Slaker in the corner out to Boca at the point. An attempted redirect there from Jimmy Lambert. Now picked up Boca across to Summers. Summers steps in. Shot is blocked there by Tanner Lisinski. Now Slaker takes it away. He fell down off his edge. And then all the way back down. This will be an icing as Summers and Boca both in their first for the Wolverines.
Yeah, in the first minute and a half of the second period, we have seen more of the same play style we saw in the first, with the Wolverines controlling possession most of the time, and the Buckeyes take into their offensive zone here and there, but Wolverines have come out with the same confidence they had in the first period thus far.
Offensive zone draw for the fourth line, and Van Wy. Moyle to his left and Raby to his right up against Ronnie Hine, and Moyle comes away with it. He drops it down along the boards. Summers pinched up, And then a redirect right in front of the net by Moyle, just kind of threw it to the goal mouth. Now Raby, nice pass for Van Wy. He curls around, going to try the wraparound, throws it in front. Moyle right there banging around, but unable to put it home. That's how they scored one of their 2 goals last night. Moyle in front, just crashing hard. And then Moyle gives a takeaway, steals the puck from Ohio State. An extended look now for Michigan. Summers at the top. He finds Raby through traffic, who is still able to hold on. A lot of time now in the offensive zone for Michigan. Now here comes Tanner Lasinski down the middle. Potential breakaway, but a great job to get back by Summers. And pokes it away off Lasinski's stick. Tanner Lasinski not the fastest skater, but now a giveaway right there, and trying to bang it home on the side of the net. And there's a loose puck. Finally cleared out by Boca, and then chipped down the ice. It's going to be an icing at a very shaky situation there. Michigan almost a deadly giveaway to the side of the net.
Yeah, that was the first real miscue the Wolverines have had in this game. Just an errant giveaway in front of the net. Something that can't happen if you want to come out victorious in these really competitive Big Ten hockey games. Ohio State almost burying that opportunity right there, but luckily it was not to be.
So the face-off will come to the right of Mann. Luckily for Michigan, they were able to sub their 3rd line on before the icing had happened. It was sort of in the midst of the play, or actually parts of it have. Winborg is on, but Raby has still not gotten off. Boca pinning his man down behind. Now Summers finally picks it out. Him and Boca both need to get off, and they're able to just poke it out past. Moyle is going to get off very quickly, as is Raby. Ohio State also in the midst of the change. Kearney comes in. Oh, he scored! A wrister from way out that Straussman, I don't know if he didn't see it at the start, but he didn't even react. And it went right over his shoulder and under the bar. A very fine seeing eye shot, but a soft goal to surrender.
I think Straussman thought that was probably just going over the net. Didn't pay much attention to it, but I mean, should he have saved it? Probably, but also a very well placed shot.
Yeah, it's a very strange play there. But Ohio State gets a goal, and just like last night, they take a 2-1 lead in the 2nd period. We'll see if Michigan can get right back to what they were doing, which was battling offensively. Becker through the neutral zone. Preston takes it away. Michigan just looking to get extended offensive zone time. Becker dumps it down. Will Lockwood chases in after it. Becker keeps it in the zone. And then a takeaway from Nick Pastrov. Tried to play it to the middle. Lockwood didn't see it, and Yopst allows to be carried out. Fiddler down the right wing side. Taken away in the middle. And then now a 2-on-2 scrum in the corner. A lot of players down there all battling. No one really could find it. Now finally Michigan picks it up and brings it out. Slaker to Pastrov. Nick Pastrov goes around Wyatt Egge. Very nice stick handling there to get it down low, but didn't have a lot of help with him. Lambert aggressively forechecking. Comes out to the middle. Hughes skating past the big block M, turns, wheels it back for Ciccone. Ciccone on senior night, looking for Michigan to have another rally. Mike Pastrov goes in after it. Tommy Miller is there. Lambert to the top. Quinn Hughes takes a shot in on net. Big rebound as it had been blocked down in front off a defender's body. Mike Pastrov sends it down. Napier out to play it. Once again, Michigan continuing to aggressively forecheck. 15:20 remaining in period number 2. Shots now 11-10. And a high-rising shot is into the body of Straussman for a whistle.
The Wolverines look kind of lethargic ever since that second Buckeye goal. They need something right now to bring their energy back up to the level it was. Probably going to be a goal. As in the first period, the goal to equalize it for them really energize them once again, but maybe even something as small as a big hit can get them amped up again.
Brennan Warren comes in right off the face-off after Michigan won that draw to the side of man. Summers top of the circle shot. Brennan Warren, puck loose in front of the net as it all kind of battled around Gordy Meyer. Nice job to get it out of that middle area behind the Ohio State net. Summers chases in after, is hot on the pursuit. The Buckeye forechecker out to the top. Gabriel puts it down low. Kearney, he runs into some trouble now across, and a shot fanned on there. Jack Randall takes it away, banks it off the boards, and Luke Morgan goes after it. Ohio State's defenders pretty strong so far in the early going of the second period. A normally very stout defensive team. Straussman plays it over, and up come Michigan. Warren to the middle looking for Randall. And the Wolverines just offsides into the offensive side.
The momentum has clearly shifted in this game, with Ohio State having a lot of the possession right now as opposed to the Wolverines. As I said before, they need something to spark them in this second period. It seemed kind of dead ever since they went down in this game. It would really be a shame to just kind of stop trying this early in the game, because there's still a lot of hockey left to be played. But they don't seem to want to play this game right now.
Yeah, there's a big conversation going on with Mel Pearson at the bench, trying to get the guys rejuvenated. It's kind of how it was last night, where they just came out very sleepy in that second period and looking to break back into things, get the folks rejuvenated. .14 remaining in period 2. Shots now 11-11, as it's been mostly all Ohio State to start this second period. Top line back out there for both teams, and the face-off a little early. They'll redo it. Entering this game, Michigan sitting in third place in the Big Ten, right behind Notre Dame, just 1 point ahead of the Irish, tied with Minnesota, but with 2 games in hand over the Gophers, and 1 point ahead of Penn State. In the second intermission, it is 2-1 Gophers over Irish. That would be a good result for Michigan if the Wolverines can win this game. Right off the draw, Michigan trying to get back into the offensive side. Lockwood brings it past the blue line, looking for a trailer. Able to send it in the direction of Becker, who then forces a loose puck in front of the net. Pastrov and Yopst battling for it. Pastrov does a nice job to wall off Yopst and create opportunities. Becker gets whacked down behind Yopst, digs it out, and then a big firm check there from Pastrov, who then tackles Yopst, and he's going to get a penalty for interference. And Michigan not too happy about that one, but seemed pretty clear cut.
That's just a very undisciplined move by Nick Pastrov. Someone as important as him needs to have a clear head. He should know how important he is to this team, and how important a power play can be for this team right now, or a penalty kill, excuse me, can be for this team right now. He just needs to make a smarter decision there. It's a really avoidable penalty.
Pastrov, who's been asked to pick up a lot of the load after Josh Norris was hurt in the World Juniors, now up to the first-line center on the team. So Michigan back on the penalty kill. Ohio State already had 5 minutes of power play time. Winning the draw immediately are the Wolverines, and Raby on the forecheck going to do his thing. They looked very strong on the forecheck, and if it had been a minor penalty the first time around, it would have been killed off with ease. Already about 20 seconds gone as Raby then forces a giveaway right in front of the Ohio State net. He's just battling Eggy and all over him. Raby's been tremendously strong, and then another bad pass from Ohio State, and Raby single-handedly 30 seconds gone just like that. He'll go off for Luke Morgan, and Van Wy will go off for Winborg. Puck bounced up to Preston, now played to the middle. Here come the Buckeyes, potential 3-on-2. Got to get back and help out is Michigan. Winborg is there and able to try and clear, but couldn't quite do so, and now another one pinballs around. 2 potential clears by Michigan, both held in by Ohio State. There's a shot from Lisinski goes over top the net, and then it rattles around and back out. Decent look for the star junior for Ohio State, but nothing coming. 50 seconds left in the Ohio State power play, and Luke Morgan getting very gritty down behind the net, and he forces a giveaway, and then he checks Carson Meyer. Here comes Ohio State into the zone, 40 seconds left. Boca cuts it off but can't quite take it away. 35 seconds remaining. They go to the middle, finding Carson Meyer. Then they go to the front, and they score. Tipped in front of the net there by John Witala. Ohio State, on both of their power plays in this game, have been very discombobulated, but they get into the zone, they set it up, and one good look, and they're able to convert.
And the power play have just been killer for the Wolverines in this game. Obviously, 2 of Ohio State's 3 goals coming on the power play, and at the very end of power plays too, in the last 30 seconds or so. Nothing really Strauss-Mann could do about that one. Witala was positioned perfectly for the deflection. He just had to tap it right in. Something really interesting about that, I loved the energy the Wolverines had in the penalty kill there, and I thought that if they killed it off, it was really going to turn into something. But they just couldn't get through that last little bit, and now they find themselves in a 2-goal hole.
A lot of work to do now for Michigan, trying to turn things around. Now here's a little potential rush. Lambert lays it down for Pastrov. You'd like to get at least one back in this period. I mean, the big story right now is 6.5 minutes of power play time for Ohio State, and none for Michigan. They just haven't played it 5-on-5 enough, and they have never had that man advantage. Lambert being very physical as Ohio State chips it up. Here comes Carson Meyer into the zone, tries to toe drag and get in on man, loose puck in front, and Michigan able to get it free. Now waiting is Mike Pastuov, and then dipping it deep as it takes a big bounce off the players, and they say it's an icing, that he was not across center. Michigan stunned about that one, and Mel Pearson yelling at the referee about that. He's had his fair share of gripes tonight.
I mean, I need to see a replay, but that looked like a pretty clear non-icing to me.
Yeah.
Looked to be well across center ice when he dumped the puck into Ohio State's zone.
Definitely an odd play. So 11:09 remaining in period 2. The faceoff will be to Strauss-Mann's right. And one there. Boca picks it up, and he'll chip it deep. Not far enough for the icing this time. Tommy Miller skating down behind the net, and he is tied up by Will Lockwood. Loose puck, and Nick Pastrov goes in after it. Becker forces a takeaway behind the net. Getting pushed up hard against the boards, does well to win it. To Hughes, across. Ciccone shot through traffic, but unable to redirect it home by Becker. McCormick deep, and that one's going to be an icing on Ohio State. I don't know.
That one also looked to be well across center ice before the puck was dumped inside. Don't know what the referees are looking at right now when they call these icings, because they look very clearly like they're not icings to me. So unless hockey changed the ruling on icing before this game started, I don't really know what's going on.
So here we go, face off to the right of man, won by Michigan. Siccone's shot through traffic, blocked high and up by Napier. Raby throws it down low. Potential Pastrov wraparound wasn't there. Ciccone skates down, and he's going to throw it to the front of the net. Ooh, deflected in front, but not able to put it home. And then doorstep, Lambert jamming away, or Moyle, and Napier just holding his post well enough to force a whistle.
Honestly, the Wolverines have looked a lot better since Ohio State scored their 3rd goal. Might have started that a little late, but their play style is more back to what it was in the first and the beginning of the 2nd period. Getting a lot of shots on goal. Tied with Ohio State in shots right now, 13-all, but the Wolverines look to have gained a little bit of their confidence back, and hopefully they can dig themselves out of this hole.
Van Wy loses the draw. Saccone down for Moyle as Michigan was able to hold it in despite losing that face-off. Raby gets around Hine, tried to throw it to the front. Hughes does well to keep it in the zone. Hughes skates between Ohio State defenders, finds Saccone an open opportunity, and he just fanned on it, and we're going to have a penalty coming to Ohio State. Looks like a hook. Not sure who it is on in particular. Looks like Girard it's going to be, and Michigan will have an opportunity to claw their way back into this game with a 2-minute penalty coming up at 9:52 remaining in the second period, trailing 3-1.
This is an enormous opportunity for the Wolverines. This is what they need in this game right now when things haven't really gone their way. If they can turn this into a goal, they're right back in this game. They're creating good chances on offense. They can't get past Tommy Napier right now. He is a great goalie, but tonight he seems to be getting a little lucky on some of his saves. But that's hockey sometimes.
Napier has been very strong in this game. He's been very good all season long. The 6'3" sophomore from St. Louis has played well for Ohio State this year. 11 wins to 2 losses and 2 ties for a .176 goals against average, far lower than Romeo's, and a much higher save percentage as well. He had kind of jumped ahead of Romeo on the depth chart.
I'd like to also give a shout out to my close personal friend, Brett Dash. If you're listening, he's a huge hockey fan. Don't know if he's in attendance tonight, but just want to know that he's got a shout out.
.952 to go in period 2. It's going to be Pastrov, Slaker, Lockwood, Saccone, and Hughes as the 5-man power play unit for the Wolverines. Yopst to do the draw for Ohio State, starting the penalty killing. And the Michigan wins the draw, but Saccone couldn't keep it in.
Not a good start to this power play, but let's see what they could do with it here.
Saccone stands behind the net and will get things set up, starting their zone entry. Saccone lays it for Slaker to Hughes, who takes a hard check, and Pastrov is able to get it into the zone. Saccone laid it down for Slaker. Larock gets to it, and he is able to send it all the way back down. Ohio State's a very good penalty-killing team. Last year, they were the best in the country. This year, a little bit lower, but still strong on both aspects of special teams. Michigan's still weak on both aspects of special teams. Down below, Slaker, and Michigan can finally get set up. Saccone over to Hughes. Hughes had a 5-on-3 power play goal last night. Hughes comes in with it, skates to the middle, waits, takes a shot just wide of the net, and Pastrov, bad angle, Saccone scores! A beautiful feed from Slaker on the left side to the right, and Saccone buries it top shelf. Michigan's got a power play goal, and they're right back in at 3-2 with 8:52 remaining in period 2.
Great instinct by Nick Pastrov to spin around and find the open Joseph Saccone for an absolutely wide open net. All he had to do was tuck it in, and he does just that and puts the Wolverines right back in this game.
Well, I mentioned that Napier had been in a lot of bad positions tonight, and he was way too far on the left side of the net and exposed the entire net to the right side. I think certainly an area of improvement for him is not getting out of position, because he's not even really in the crease, way over pursuing that opportunity and allowing Saccone to put it in the empty net. So 3-2, Ohio State over Michigan. The Wolverines have the momentum now. 2 power play goals, Ohio State 1 for Michigan. Michigan 1 for 1 on the power play. Ohio State 2 for 2. So a lot of good power play time in this game. Ronnie Hine breaks out with Lisinski. He comes down the right wing side, looks for a tap in on the back door. Nothing there, but a very fine play from Lisinski, who is so dangerous. Goes back down, no icing in the Ohio State end. Gordy Meyer gets tied up, but is able to find Freddie Girard, and Michigan has to get back. Van Wy comes on the back check. Lisinski, loose puck. Blankenberg, Van Wy, and Blankenberg just chipping it out to the side. There's a shot through traffic, block. Now to the point, Ronnie Hind. He takes a shot that goes wide of the net. Ohio State with some good looks right now. Michigan needs to get it out. Raby picks it up, and he can flip it right down the boards to do just that. Nolan Moyle will get off and help this fourth line try to change. And now we've got a penalty. I think it's going to be too many men on Ohio State. They had a lot of miscommunication on their change, and the whistle blew as Ohio State had just touched the puck. And now, after some sloppiness from Michigan, it's Ohio State taking bad penalties, and they go right back to the penalty kill.
Yeah, I said earlier in this game that things really were not going Michigan's way. Now it looks like things have turned their way quite a bit with these 2 power plays in a row. When they were down 2 goals, they converted on the first opportunity. If they can convert on the second, this would be enormous, and also make 4 of the 6 goals scored in this game on the power play.
Ronnie Hine is the one in the box. Stat broadcast says slashing. I didn't see a slash, but that's what the whistle is. Tommy Perrin is able to get the draw and chip it deep for Ohio State. They did well in killing off the beginning of that last Michigan power play before eventually surrendering the goal by Saccone, and Michigan right back on the power play. $1:40 to go. Saccone lays it back to Hughes. This is exactly how they zone entered last time. Hughes comes cutting in by himself. He comes right in on net, going to curl around, leaves it on the back door, but getting the glove down was Napier. Again, very overzealous in his approach, but able to just corral it.
Yeah, one of my main gripes, or like probably my only gripe with Quinn Hughes, is that he tries to do too much sometimes. He saw it right there, tried to make sure that Napier was literally not in the goal crease. That didn't work out too well for him. If he had shot it a little bit further away, probably would have either led to a deflection or maybe even gone in. Just doing a little too much there, where you like to see him just shoot the puck.
Jack Becker kicked out of the faceoff circle, so they'll put Jimmy Lambert in. He's not a center, so this is, in theory, an advantage to John Witala, but he's also not really a center. And Lambert is able to win the draw. Becker to Summers, across to Boca. Michigan can get set up with this second unit. Summers on the left point, Boca on the right. They switch, and Summers cuts to the middle. He finds Pastuov. They go over to Boca down low, looking for Lambert, and he just couldn't corral it. But Boca's able to hold it in. They get it over to Pastuov to Summers. Boca back to Summers. They want to get a one-time look, I would think. Boca curls with it. He's over to Pastuov. Pastuov back to Boca. A lot of passing, looking for that look. Pastuov to Boca, back to Summers. No one's willing to take the shot yet. Summers to Boca. Boca waits with it, back to Summers. 40 seconds left. Summers takes a shot, rebound, and they just couldn't put it home. Good clear from Ohio State. 35 seconds left. A lot of waiting to set up that look, but it was a pretty good rebound for Michigan, and now here comes Boca. He's going to lead the attack himself. Boca jumping in on the play, goes skating down the right wing, finds Slaker in front, who just put it over top. Well set up there by Nick Boca, who continues to battle with Tommy Miller, and Miller will clear. 15 seconds left in the power play. Maybe one last rush for Michigan, where Hughes picks it up. Getting ready to get out of the box is Ronnie Hine. Hughes comes across the blue line. He cuts to the middle, leaves it behind. Slaker takes a shot that is blocked high into the air. Nick Pastuov picks it up, and we're going to have a penalty, I think, on Quinn Hughes. And it's going to be interference or a cross-check, trying to see. Or it's going to be Lockwood heading to the box, rather. Not sure where he exactly was on that penalty, and so we just have successive power play after power play in this game.
Yeah, for most of this period, one of the two teams has been on a man advantage, trying to see what that penalty is right now. Drain, could you tell from that replay?
No, not really. They're going to say Will Lockwood 2 minutes for interference is the official word. Didn't catch the replay. So Van Wy in the fourth line out there. This is a big kill for Michigan, who've had a leaky penalty kill so far, and they lose the draw. Wyatt Egge takes a shot deflected off the stick of Van Wy. Raby's got it, and he'll just quickly clear it down. Van Wy's going to go on the aggressive forecheck. Crowd not happy with that call. 5:39 to go in the second. Raby is able to interfere with Preston enough to stop that rush. Eggy comes up with it into the offensive zone, lays it behind for Gerard. Curls on the right side. He's going to turn around, get it back to the point where Wyatt Eggy sends it across to Lisinski. Eggy turns, Preston skates up. They go down low, sending it through the crease, but too far for Lisinski. And back out for Michigan. 1:20 remaining in the man advantage for Ohio State. 5:05 to go in period number 2. Van Wy will get off and send Winborg on. It's Winborg and Raby, the penalty killers for Michigan. And Raby quickly gets to it just as Ohio State was in the midst of their zone entry. And they clear it out. Fresh legs on for Michigan. Winborg and Warren watching Ohio State. Under a minute to go in the power play. Lockwood seated in the box for interference. 3-2 Ohio State over Michigan at this point. Ohio State looking for a series split from the Wolverines. Now out to the point. Tommy Miller holds. He sends it back down low. And Yops couldn't get to it. Able to be held in well at the point there, but quickly on the other side is Summers, and he clears it all the way back down in on Napier, who shovels it over to the side. Brendan Warren aggressively penalty killing. Michigan missed him on the first penalty kill as he was the one serving the penalty, and now Hughes takes it away in the neutral zone, and Hughes will go up on the attack by himself. Hughes uncorks a slap shot that goes high and rising off the glass, and Luke Morgan penalty killing there with Dakota Raby. Raby gets it to the net front. Morgan couldn't corral it. 3 seconds, 2-1. Here comes Lockwood out of the box, and Hughes a big check. And Yopst pinches in at the point. Now Lockwood an opportunity, potential 3-on-2 or 4-on-2 brewing. Lockwood to the middle. He takes a shot. Loosen. And Michigan couldn't corral that rebound. A great opportunity. And now I think we have some pushing and shoving in front of the Buckeye net. The crowd wanted a penalty on Ohio State. Didn't see what had happened. Hughes comes in. He takes another drive and a rebound that could not be quite corralled by the Buckeyes. Battled down behind the net. And Michigan still very aggressive in their forecheck. Lockwood goes to help on the side. Gordy Meyer tries to clear it out. Griffin Luce had pinched in at the point. Now the Buckeyes finally do get it out, trying to readjust to 5-on-5 play as a quick Michigan blitz out of that penalty kill. Luce down behind, he's in some trouble, gives it over to Blankenberg. And Blankenberg, oh, he got hit hard into the boards. That's going to be a penalty on Ohio State. The referee's got the arm up, and they'll pull man out. Here comes Luce leading the attack himself. 6-on-5 Michigan. Holding in at the point is Slaker. He skates in. He takes a shot. High into the air. Pastujov. Oh, he just put it wide on the doorstep. Napier now pushing and shoving and getting thrown down behind the net. There's punches. It's a dog pile down behind the Michigan net. All 10 skaters are down there. It looks like LaRock is pinning Lockwood down and shoving his head against the ice. Everyone looking there. This is the physicality we saw last night.
Yeah, this game is really picking up right now. These two teams come in with the bitter rivalry to begin with. Michigan gets the win last night. Ohio State up in this game tonight. And then just an absolute dirty hit on Nick Blankenberg, which is going to result in a penalty here for the Buckeyes. And then a huge scrum in front of the net just now. And even the goalie, Tommy Napier, got into it a little bit. I think we're in for a very, very exciting rest of this period and the rest of this game.
2:37 remaining in period 2. Seated in the box is Fadeev. That's who is there right now. We'll see what the official call is. I assume it'll be a boarding, as Michigan had some great looks with that 6-on-5 advantage. They've really been pressing after that penalty kill, re-energized a bit, and with 2 minutes of power play time likely upcoming, Michigan, there's a chance that they could try and tie the game going into the second intermission. The referees are reviewing something. I don't know if they're going to review a potential major penalty on that hit. Well,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they assessed a couple more penalties due to that scrum in front of the net.
Yeah, that's an option too. The referees, 2 of them are now in the area where the replays take place, looking at the monitor.
This is probably going to be another pretty long review. A lot of action went on there. Probably about 7 or 8 players in all involved in that altercation.
Yeah. A really ugly battle. Puck. Pastuov will likely be serving some kind of double minor would be my guess. The referees are now they're saying something to him as he had skated into the box. He's taken a seat there. Take a while for them to sort this out, more than likely.
Well, I feel like this should definitely result in a Michigan power play.
Yeah, my guess would be offsetting.
2 minutes.
Yeah, offsetting interferences from the scrum, and then probably the 2-minute penalty on the boarding call, because that's what started it. It was the big hit in the corner. Referee immediately went up with the arm, and very clear that a power play was upcoming for Michigan. They pull the 6-on-5 there. Now we've got Nick Boca skating over. He's talking to Pastuov in the box. Now skating over for Ohio State to take a seat in the box is going to be O'Connell, I think, or at least he stopped at the doorstep of the penalty box. There's 2 Buckeyes over there that I think will be going in once they get the official word. It's O'Connell and Eugene Fadiev. Fadiev was initially in the box, and then he got up and left for a second. O'Connell is skated over, standing there. Boca serving as an alternate captain, along with the Buckeye second captain, Sasha Larocque, standing waiting for the official word from the referees.
I mean, the last review in this game took pretty long for something pretty obvious, so this one should take a long time as well, because it's really not so obvious what happened there. Just a huge pile of bodies throwing punches at each other. It looks very similar to the Winterfest that took place today here in Ann Arbor.
And it looks like Fadiev has been ejected. He is leaving the game, skating right out, and the children of Yost is going wild as he goes into the locker room. O'Connell is seated in the box. I don't know if Ohio State will have to send somebody on his behalf. So our Scoring Stat broadcast, they've issued incidental minors for Nick Pastuov and Ryan O'Connell in roughing. That makes sense and what we were expecting, but we haven't gotten the official word about that hit.
Well, yeah, I would guess Fadiev was ejected because that hit was vicious. That was here it is right now. It's an extremely dirty hit. Sent his head flying right into the boards.
Now Larocque skating over to the Ohio State bench, and a referee is speaking to Steve Rolick down on the Ohio State bench. I think they're going to tell Rolick that he needs to send someone on Fadiev's behalf. So it is a game misconduct on Eugene Fadiev.
And this is that Michigan-Ohio State rivalry right here. Things tend to get pretty ugly during whatever sport they play each other in. We saw earlier in the year in Chrysler a full team scrum almost broke out in the middle of the game after Caleb Wesson and Xavier Simpson went at it for a little bit, which is a little ironic because Wesson's the biggest person on Ohio State and Simpson's the smallest person on Michigan. But these two teams just have these two universities have such a bitter history with each other that the rivalry always tends to sink in at some point or another in every contest they play.
So what it appears to me is that Pastuov and O'Connell have been giving coincidental minors for roughing. Jack Randall is in the box for checking. Fadiev was given a 5-minute major for checking from behind, as well as a 10-minute game misconduct. So what it looks like to me is it's going to be 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and then a Michigan power play for 3 minutes, because there's a 2-minute penalty on Randall and then a 5-minute major on Fadiev. So this will be 4-on-4 for 2 minutes of the final 2:37 of the period. A very convoluted sequence of events there.
I don't think I've ever seen this happen in a game before.
Yeah. Van Wy to do the draw with Ronnie Hine. And Van Wy not quite able to grab it as Hines sends it back down for LaRock behind the Ohio State net, and he runs into trouble. Raby tries to steal the puck from him. Hine able to come in and give him some help. Here comes Ohio State up the side. Saccone watching Hine, who turns on a dime and is going to curl with it at the top. Leaves it behind for LaRock at the left point. He sends it to the middle. Hine had it, lost it, tipped to the side. Michigan needs to get in a passing lane and take the puck away. They throw it to the side, and now Saccone's finally to it. He'll give it over to Quinn Hughes. We'll see what Hughes decides to do. He just turns and waits, stands behind the net, and he'll begin to skate out with it. Quinn Hughes comes up past the center line, past the blue line. He'll dump it in. Michigan being very conservative in the 4-on-4, just waiting to get their 3-minute power play. And a loose puck in front of the net. Warren took it away, and then Ohio State can't quite get it out. Very sloppy behind their own net. Warren chasing aggressively on the forecheck. Luke Morgan there, and now Michigan secures a loose puck that dribbles back into their own end. Turning very nicely. Boca out to Luke Morgan. Morgan and Warren, the attackers. Morgan skates past the blue line, takes a shot easily into the glove of Napier. 40 seconds remaining in the Randall penalty. So Michigan will get about 37 seconds on their power play, and then they'll roll 2 minutes and 23 seconds over to start the third period, looking for the equalizer, trailing 3-2.
Yeah, it looks like the Wolverines are just kind of conserving their energy until they have that man advantage so that they can go full steam ahead to tie up this game.
Morgan in the face-off dot and unable to win it. Egge secures it for Ohio State on the left corner and then skates to the side. Picking it up, Tommy Miller. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Egge applies a nice check. Miller across, and then for no one really in particular, Carson Meyer scoops it up. A minute remaining in the second period. 20 seconds to go in 4-on-4. Long stretch pass for Carson Meyer. Too far for him, and it is going to be whistled as in icing on Ohio State. So 14 seconds left of 4-on-4. 51.7 to go in period number 2.
Yeah, I think we are in for a fantastic third period. Though the second period's not over with just under a minute left, I'm really excited to see what this third period has in store.
Slaker unable to win the draw. Ohio State's won these big draws here in 4-on-4, but Michigan quickly takes it away. Saccone at the point gives it across to Quinn Hughes. They know they're getting an extra attacker. Quinn Hughes goes right around Meyer into the middle, leaves it behind for Lockwood. Lockwood curls. He's got an opportunity. He takes a shot that is blocked. Hughes picks it up. Michigan's got Randall out of the box. He quickly went over, and now 30 seconds left. Hughes comes skating in. He curls with it, leaves it for Slaker. Slaker hands it off to Lockwood. Lockwood curls. 23 seconds left, but they just couldn't find Saccone at the top. Man comes out. He'll hand it off to Saccone. 15 seconds remaining. Michigan can have one last rush before the period ends. They scored with 2 seconds left in the second period last night. See if they have anything here. Dump and chase. Slaker for Lockwood. Saccone at the point. 5 seconds remaining. He'll just throw it down for Lockwood. 2 seconds, one. And that'll do it. Michigan will roll 2 minutes and 23 seconds of power play time over to start this third period. Here in the second, 2 goals for Ohio State, 1 for Michigan. Each team gets 1 on the power play. 3-2 Ohio State after 2, but a very, very competitive game so far.
Yeah, once again, I still see Michigan playing better hockey despite the scoreboard. I really think that they're going to convert this power play at the beginning of the third period, and then it's just who can play better for the last 17 minutes or so from there on.
It's been a battle so far. These teams, this is now the 4th time they've played. Michigan's 2-1 in the previous 3, but now counting this one, all 4 have just been absolute battles. Very, very competitive contests between 2 teams. And with that, we'll be back in about 12 or 13 minutes for the conclusion of the contest. We are back now for the third period between Michigan and Ohio State. Our score after 2, Ohio State 3, Michigan 2. Shots 20-14 in favor of the Wolverines, but in search of that equalizing goal, they'll be handed 2 minutes and 23 seconds of power play time to start this third period after a game misconduct major was assessed to Eugene Fediev of Ohio State for a big hit. A lot of physicality in that period. 3 goals. It certainly seems like it's going to be an intense third period.
Yeah, I said at the end of the last period I was really excited to see what the third period would bring. I think we're going to see a lot of big hits. I think we're going to see a lot of physicality. And I think that the Wolverines are really going to convert this power play they're going to start the third period off with from the Eugene Fediev ejection. They will have the first 2 minutes and 23 seconds of the period to try to equalize this game. And then I think we're going to just have a good hard-fought hockey game for the last 17 or so minutes of the third period.
Goal scoring so far in this one, Carson Meyer got it started for Ohio State with a power play goal, assist to Gerard and Egge. Blankenberg even at even strength with an assist from Lockwood. Brandon Kearney, a very strange 5-on-5 goal, assist to Ryan O'Connell. That was his first assist of the season, made it 2-1 Ohio State. A power play goal to John Ritala, assists Miller and Meyer at 7:57 of the second, made it 3-1 Ohio State. Michigan got one back by Joe Ciccone, assists to Pastuov and Quinn Hughes at 11:08 of the second. Michigan's been looking for that game-tying goal, and they got a good opportunity to do it. We've had a lot of penalties in this one, 2 majors, one to Brendan Warren for kneeing that Ohio State scored on, and then this game misconduct to Fediev that Michigan is looking to score on and get back to even footing. Big game for Big Ten standings. Ohio State sitting first in the Big Ten. A win here tonight for Ohio State would give them the conference regular season title that they've had all but locked up for several months now. They've struggled to finish it out, though, with 3 straight losses entering tonight, getting swept by Minnesota last weekend, in danger of being swept tonight by Michigan if they cannot pull this one out. Wolverines enter tonight at 3rd in the Big Ten, but very, very close to both 2nd and 5th place, so a lot of standing implications.
I'm looking for Quinn Hughes to put this one in. He's gotten so many good looks at the net, hit the crossbar in the first period. I think it's only a matter of time before he finds the back of the net.
So here we go. On the face-off, Michigan gets set up in their own end. They carry it in. Slaker got pushed backwards, and so Hughes will have to settle it down. About 2 minutes of full power play time starting now. Slaker to Lockwood. Lockwood cuts in, looks for a feed to Winborg, just couldn't connect with him. And now Hughes has got it at the point, sends it down on the side to Slaker, over to Ciccone, who couldn't find it, but Winborg down behind the net punches it along to Slaker, who gets it back to Hughes at the top. Hughes skates to his left. He goes over to Slaker, back to him down low. Looking for Ciccone over to the middle, but just unable to connect. Slaker sends it around. Oh, finds Hughes at the top. Hughes curls with it. He cuts to the middle. He's going to throw it around, looking for Lockwood in front. Ciccone up at the top. He's got Hughes down low. Hughes turns, spins, unable to get a shot away, but still got it right down by the red line. Gets up to Lockwood. Lockwood skates to his right, hands it to Hughes at the left. Hughes lays it down, and a drive for Ciccone right into the glove of Napier. Pretty good look there. Still 1:05 remaining.
Yeah, the Wolverines are able to get set up right there on the power play. Still have a lot of time left in this power play, as you said. I'd like to see them take more shots at the net, since Tommy Napier has been a little shaky tonight, rather than look for that one perfect opportunity. But as long as they get set up, anything can happen.
Becker to do the draw. He's got Lambert to his right, Pastuov to his left. It's the second unit out there with Boca and Summers, and he wins the draw. So Michigan can get set up. Becker will go to the goal front. Summers in the center, and now they got a one-timer for Lambert. His shot goes wide, but corralled by Boca and keeping it in. Now they'll get another look. Summers to Boca. Boca skates down low. Summers at the top takes a shot through traffic, tipped in front by Becker, and we'll have a face-off coming to Napier's right as it goes out of play. Nick Pasturoff now is out of the box after he had been serving an offsetting penalty earlier in the game. Gerard seated and serving that penalty for Fadilla. 45 seconds remaining. Becker will do the draw again. He won the last one. And he is able to win this one as Mike Pasturoff comes away with it. Boca to Summers at the top. Boca skates down low, gets it to Summers right there. They got a one-time opportunity, and Lambert once again uncorks that shot and just couldn't put it home. Down low, a takeaway, and on the rebound, another try, batting for it, and just couldn't put it there. Rebounds really whacking away. And now 15 seconds remaining in the power play. Michigan's gotten some decent looks. Certainly need to keep the pressure on even when it gets back to even strength. Boca carries it in, lost the puck. Moyle there to help him, and then Ohio State chips it back down. That'll let Gerard out of the box. Some good looks, but Michigan still in search of the game-tying goal. 17:30 to go in period number 3. They're dominating the shot department, 23-14. That play well offsides as Raby had gotten in a bit of a tussle as Hughes was trying to carry it in. 17:25 remaining in period 3.
I really thought the Wolverines were going to do something with that opportunity. They had great energy at the end of the second period. I thought they'd come out with that same energy. More or less they did, got a few good looks, just could not find the back of the net. And now they got a little bit over 17 minutes to tie this hockey game.
So Van Wy unable to win that draw. It was a lot of those looks were one-timers from Jimmy Lambert, and he was just unable to really get one off that was a bomb at all. Napier in good position. Perrin takes a shot that gets a piece of Moyle's stick and goes high and over top of Strauss-Mann. Ohio State looking for their first chances of the period. Moyle picks it out, and here comes Raby with Van Wy, a potential 3-on-3 rush, and there's a shot going wide of the net. Moyle down low, pokes it in the area of Raby. Battled for. Moyle continuing to hack away there, and Hine does well to carry all the way in. Oh, a shot off the post, and a rebound loose in front of the net. It's under Strauss-Mann, and they're still not blowing the whistle, and finally they do. Man, oh man.
I thought that went in on the initial shot.
It looks like it was exactly the same as Quinn Hughes' shot. I think it was a slow-moving puck that went off the crossbar was what it looked like to me. Have to take a look at a potential replay as the referee's sorting it out. A scrum on top of Strauss-Mann. Let's take a look. Yep, that was off the crossbar on the TV replay. And then Mann just laid there, and it sure seemed like the puck was under him, and no one blew the whistle, and they just kept whacking and whacking and whacking.
The puck was actually at his feet.
Yep.
And it was under, I believe it was Brendan Warren. I believe it's no goal.
It didn't look like it.
The puck did end up in the net at some point. I just don't know.
It looked like it went off the left post. Let's take a look. I mean, it was out in front of Mann right there, and then sitting just outside the crease. They poke it, and it's floating up in the air. Then it goes off Mann's pads. It's loose. And then it's under Blankenberg.
And then it's right there, and I think it's poked in here.
Nope. That gets blocked, because right there it's still under Blankenberg.
Did it ever go in?
It's still not in right now, and then they blow the whistle. There's no goal there. And then the referees do come out of the box. They wave the arms, no goal.
That's a lucky break for the Michigan Wolverines. Similar thing happened to the Buckeyes in the first period. Quinn Hughes, absolute rocket that looked to be a goal. He even celebrated, but it was just off the crossbar and was called no goal.
So here we go. It's a face-off just to the side of Mann. Ordinary old face-off, and nothing comes of that play. It's just a high action game. A lot of chances on both sides. 23-16 shots in favor of Michigan. Yost wins that draw. Eggy dumps it down looking for Pooley. Couldn't quite find him. Whacked in the corner where a number of Buckeyes and Wolverines battling for it. Lockwood trying to dig it out. And then it goes up to the top. Eggy curls around Morgan, then goes back the other direction, looking for time. Here's a breakaway for Will Lockwood. He's free, along with Wyatt Eggy. He's going to turn, and Eggy did great to back check there. Never let Lockwood get free of him, and he was able to shut off the opportunity before Lockwood could really kick that great speed. And now it's being dug into the corner. 4 or 5 people there, and Ohio State finally digs it out with Tommy Miller. Buckeye long stretch pass. Pooley tips it into the zone. Quinn Preston there, and Blankenberg quickly takes it away, or at least it looked like it. Now he comes away with it and just banks it off the boards, gets it out. Still an extended scrum down behind the Michigan net. Finally breaking it up between Luce and Preston. Behind the Ohio State net, forecheck from Mike Pastuov. And the Buckeyes do get it out. Nice pass across the ice, allowing Kearney to use the speed coming down the wing. Shot right into the body of Straussman, and he makes the easy save.
Yeah, there's a scrum there between, as you said, Luce and Preston behind the net. After every other skater on the team, as it was on the other side, Luce was holding Preston down on the ice and wouldn't let him get up until the official came over and broke that up before anything could escalate.
Slaker wins the draw for Michigan. 15-12 to go in period 3. Michigan's got plenty of time to get that equalizer, and they've had plenty of good opportunities. There's a long stretch pass, too far for Pastuov, but Hughes comes flying in and throws the puck at the net. And then pinching down is Ciccone to hold it in into the corner, down behind the net, where Gordy Meyer throws it off the boards for Carson Meyer, and held in at the line by Mike Pastuov, and then just unable to do anything with it. Carson Meyer goes across the blue line. Hughes cuts him off. And Ciccone to Mike Pastuov. Mike Pastuov flips it up in the air, and down after it goes Jake Slaker. Michigan will get a change. Ohio State curling behind. Out come the Buckeyes. Tanner Lisinski pursued from behind by Jake Lambert, who does a good job. And Lambert gets to it, clears it along the boards, and just past the blue line is Sasha Larocque. Couldn't hold it in. He has to chip it as the Buckeyes have to get back now on sides. Both teams still changing. Blankenberg to Boca. Boca gets it passed into the blue line. Boca's now coming up with it. He takes a long shot to force a face-off as Napier holds on with 14:06 remaining in period 3.
Not a ton of action in this game since the not a ton of action in this period, I should say, since that big dog pile in front of the Michigan net that resulted in no goal eventually. But I'd like to see the pace of this game pick up a little bit as the minutes dwindle down.
Minnesota has beaten Notre Dame 2-1, which means Minnesota is now done with Big Ten play. They finish at 30 points. Michigan at 33, but they've got 2 games in hand plus this one, which is still in the middle of its action. Notre Dame now at 22 games played drops to 10-10, 2-2 in the conference. They've got 34 points, so Michigan could jump back into the driver's seat of the Big Ten chase. If they can secure a win here tonight, they're going to have some work to do to get to that point. 14:06 remaining in period 3. Michigan will go to Wisconsin next week. If they don't win tonight, they would need, I believe, 3 or 4 points against Wisconsin. Not sure how the tiebreaker worked to guarantee that first round home ice bid. If they can win tonight, then they'll be in a very good position to get at least home ice, if not more. Penn State and Wisconsin have not started their game yet, at least I don't believe. Van Wy off the draw, able to get it to Moyle, who throws it down for Raby. Raby curls to the point. Boca right side over to Summers on the left. He went down, but did well enough to get it into the corner. Pinned up against the boards is Raby, giving him some help. Nolan Moyle, and now Ohio State able to pick it out. And here they come the other way. 3-on-3 rush. Boca pins his man against the boards, and Yopst gets in there, though, to take it away. And now trying to set up a look at the point, and a shot through traffic blocked in front, and a rebound goes into the corner. OSU on it. Moyle puts it up into the air, over to the side. Summers. Moyle. Boca picks it up. Boca banks it off the boards, looking for Dakota Raby up into the air. Van Wy just trying to get it out. Michigan just wants to get out of the zone and then get the change, and then they do push it just past the blue line to allow that to happen. Miller takes a shot long into the zone. Lockwood ties up his man, and then a giveaway there by Pasturoff, who thought he had a player where he didn't. Now Lockwood picks it up. Lockwood's going to get on the rush. Lockwood skating from left side to the right, flips it up into the air high and over top of the Buckeye net. Pasturoff pinches in to hold the puck right there. Lockwood couldn't seal it off. And Miller leads the rush. That's going to be an offside as Egge carried it in too soon. 12:36 remaining in period 3.
As I said before, the pace of this game has slowed down a lot since those critical events earlier in the period. Michigan needs to play with more urgency as they're down 1 goal right now and really need to grab this win. They haven't been able to finish out sweeps in almost any series they've played this year. So it'd be nice to do it here at home at Yost for the seniors against the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Michigan, I think, would be content to get to the double overtime where they get a point in Big Ten play, because their path to the tourney relies on Big Ten standings and Big Ten play more than national picture. But they need at least 1 goal to get there, as there's a shot from Meyer at the point right into Mann's glove, and he'll hang on.
Yeah, you're totally right. The Wolverines just need to grab points. And to do that, they're going to need to tie up this game before it's too late. And with the new Big Ten rules, actually, do you get a point for overtime still or no?
You get the 5-minute overtime to start that no points are handed out. And then after that, there's a second overtime at which point both teams get a point. So you have to make it through the first 5-minute overtime to get the point.
But don't you get 2 points if you win in overtime?
If you win in the second overtime. The first overtime, you get the full 3. It just counts as an extension of regulation. Anyway, Hughes picks it up off the draw. Here comes Michigan. Lockwood curling in. But Ohio State's done a pretty good job of denying zone entries here in this third period. They're a good defensive team. Kearney brings it on in. He takes a shot deflected off Sacconi's leg. Hughes picks it up. He's having a little trouble handling it. Now Michigan a potential 3-on-3 rush. Becker goes hard to the net. They're looking for Hughes, the trailer. He throws it across. Lockwood couldn't quite find it. Now he puts it in front of the net. Becker positioned in his normal net front presence. Sacconi skates to the side. Hughes will go down, turn on a dime, cut back to the side. Lockwood lays it for Lockwood, who picks it up. He gives it back to Sacconi. He takes a shot through traffic, didn't get in on net, and Hughes couldn't keep it in as it had rattled all the way around to the right side. Lockwood to Hughes. Hughes chips it deep, and Michigan is able to roll the fourth line back out there. 11:13 to go in period 3. Van Wy holds it in. He takes a shot wide of Napier. Pinching in to hold it in was Blankenberg, but Raby just carried it out of the zone. He'll set back up and dump it in. Quickly picked up by the Buckeye defense, rattled around Girard, and now all the way back down. They say it was touched for no icing. The Michigan crowd really doesn't like that call. Blankenberg chips it down, and now that one will be an icing on Michigan, and the crowd booing very loudly, and Van Wy can't believe it. I think he's got a good case there. It looked pretty clear-cut on an icing on Ohio State. So it'll be instead an icing on Michigan. 10:38 to go in the game. Face-off to Strauss-Mann's right.
I'm just wondering when the urgency is going to kick in for the Wolverines. They don't have that same energy that they had in the end of the second period and the beginning of the third period. They've kind of lost their confidence right now, and they've lost their competitive fire, and I'd like to see them play with a lot more of that for the last 10 minutes of this game.
Van Wy in the circle with Ronnie Hine. Blankenberg gives it to Raby. Leaves it behind for Blankenberg. Sends it all the way up, looking for Nolan Moyle. He picks it up. Here's an opportunity. Raby goes streaking to the middle. A shot for Moyle, and it's redirected. Napier finds it. It's in! And Napier, we talked about his bad positioning. He was not even close to the crease. An exposed net. Michigan just throws it to the front, and I think an Ohio State player kicked it in his own net.
Napier actually put that one in.
Yeah. To see the replay, but that's another fourth line opportunity for this fourth line that's played so well this season. Nolan Moyle and company. We'll see who gets credit for the goal. I think it will be Moyle. Let's take a look. Napier came way out of the net, and Moyle threw it to the front. It was either off Eggy or Napier himself. It will be Moyle getting credit for the goal. Yeah, it might have been Napier's skate.
I think you're right. I think it was Eggy, actually. The skate of Eggy. It's so interesting to me, though, because Napier is a good goalie. He has a record of 11-2-2 and a save percentage of 94. He's by no means a bad goalie, but tonight he just looks to be just a whole different guy.
Michigan beat Napier in Columbus. That was their win in the at Ohio State series. Trying to do so tonight in a 3-3 game. Michigan's rallied from 3-1 down, but here comes Yost. Opportunity for him. A rebound right in front of the net, and a nice block there. Pastrov got his body in, and here they come. Potential 3-on-3 rush. Pastrov goes right around his defender. He cuts in, goes right in front of the net. Oh, and a loose puck just couldn't be buried home. And now Mason Yost is the only one. Lockwood comes streaking back in. Yost to the front. Great save by Strauss-Mann to deny a breakaway as Lockwood was furiously back-checking. This intensity has picked up down behind the net. Nick Pastrov just needs to get it out and reset things as Ohio State's had an extended look. Shot fanned on, and then a redirection in front. Yost, where Boca pushes it to the corner, now out to the point. O'Connell's got it. He throws it over to Gordy Meyer. Meyer deking around Luke Morgan, who's trying to block it, and there's a throw to the front. Couldn't quite be tapped in on the doorstep by John Witala. There's Quinn Preston. Now Boca tries to clear it out to Meyer, and his shot went through the crease. Ohio State, a lot of extended time right now. Gordy Meyer guarded by Luke Morgan. They didn't see Carson Meyer. That shot right into the body of Strauss-Mann. Big saves from the Michigan goaltender as we get a whistle. 9 minutes remaining in a 3-3 hockey game.
And this is what I love about Strauss-Mann. Although he's just a freshman, and he's not even the starting goaltender, although Mel Pearson has been giving him the nod a lot more recently, he seems to always come up in the big moments and make the very crucial saves that Hayden Levine just can't seem to make this season. So
we have the under 10 media timeout. Things really ramping up. It's a rivalry weekend all around for Michigan athletics, especially the winter sports, with Michigan hosting Ohio State for 2 games this weekend, and men's basketball hosting MSU tomorrow. At the same time, women's basketball will be at MSU tomorrow. So a little home-and-home action with the men's and women's team. Women's basketball on a 7-game winning streak have catapulted themselves from a middling Big Ten team to back into the NCAA tournament picture, trying to finish their regular season strong. And, of course, the Titanic matchup at Chrysler tomorrow.
Yeah, that should be a really good game. Looked like Michigan could be headed for a just end-of-season collapse after that ugly loss at Penn State last week. But they've really just bounced back with a win at home against Maryland and a big road win against Minnesota. That should be a great matchup at Chrysler tomorrow.
So 9 minutes remaining in period 3, and a 5-minute overtime looming if this tie cannot be broken. We do have a score in the Penn State game. Wisconsin leads 2-0 early stages of the second period in that one. Michigan would very much like a Wisconsin victory. With only 1 point separating themselves from Penn State, they'd like some breathing room ahead of the Nittany Lions. And the replays showed that it did indeed go off of Wyatt Eggy's left skate on that Nolan Moyle goal, who has 3 goals in these 2 weekend games. Huge, huge play for the freshman winger. Ciccone got himself into some trouble and had to find Hughes, who is his safety valve. His long stretch pass for Slaker given away and now dumped back down. Quinn turns around and looked like Ohio State got a piece of it. And I don't know, it just went off Hughes' stick, so the faceoff will stay in the Michigan end as it went up into the crowd. Michigan Hockey posted on their Instagram account a picture of, it looked like Quinn Hughes' cousin is in attendance tonight. She was holding a sign. Hughes family from Florida, but they're very familiar with the Michigan area. Of course, Quinn and his brother Jack having played for the national team in Plymouth, and his youngest brother Luke is already committed for the Michigan 2004, which is 2022 recruiting class. Slaker comes right in fast, takes a shot, blocked, and then a hard hit along the boards, no penalty, as Mike Pastrov digs it out. Ciccone throws it towards the net front. Pastrov goes into the corner. Mike hands it off to Lambert. Lambert gives it back to Mike. He takes a shot that goes right into the body of his defender, Tommy Miller, and then Miller presses him up against the boards after taking his stick away and then shoving him down. Crowd wanted an interference call on that one. Not going to get it. Girard skates in, and he tries to curl around, takes a shot that goes wide of the net into the corner. They throw it to the net front. Lisinski right there. Couldn't quite get it home. Perrin, left side, going to curl around. Being held in front is Ciccone. He was lifting his arm up looking for a call. Hine to Freddie Girard, and he fanned on it. Michigan has an opportunity to go out and run if they want, but Hughes is just going to let the forwards change, I think. He needs to get off himself, and he lost the puck, and now Girard fans on it again, and Michigan pushes it down there. That'll be an icing, unfortunately. Moyle unable to win the battle. A lot of stick malfunctions in the last minute.
The pace of this game really picking up since that Coyle equalizer. We got 7.5 minutes left in this game. It's going to come down to whoever wants it more, whoever skates harder, whoever's getting dirty near the goal. This is just going to come down to effort this game.
Looks like Mel Pearson has used his timeout. I think that's a good call there to try and get his guys some rest. Steve Rollick has not used his timeout either. A 3-3 game between Michigan and Ohio State in a huge matchup with Big Ten implications.
And they are showing on the TV right now that Ohio State would clinch the 1 seed with just 1 point in this game.
Yeah, so Ohio State, wouldn't be opposed to an overtime, or a double overtime rather, where both teams get at least a point. I don't think Michigan would be either. But both teams want to win this one and end it in regulation. Ohio State entered this game on a 3-game losing streak, having lost last night and then being swept at home, which was kind of stunning at the hands of Minnesota, which has kept Minnesota in the hunt for a top 4 seed in the Big Ten hockey tournament. Just 1 weekend remaining, and then the tournament will start the weekend of March the 10th and the 11th, and it goes for 3 weekends of play. Blankenberg controls the draw, which Michigan sort of won, but unable to get it out. Now going down hard was Blankenberg. He wants a call as he's pinned up against the boards, and now some pushing and shoving between himself and Pooley, who continues to push, and now 4 guys against the boards. Nolan Moyle able to get it out. Him in the 4th line out there, that long pass in. Blankenberg, and they're going to call that one an icing on Ohio State. Yops doesn't like that call. 7:01 remaining. Michigan can finally get their guys off and get fresh legs onto the ice. 7:01 to go in period 3. They'll put the top line of Pastuov, Lockwood, and Becker out there. Pastuov not able to win that draw. Ohio State clears it down, and that's going to be a hand pass as Summers played it with the glove. A lot of whistles in these last 30 seconds or so of game time. Shots 26-22 in favor of Michigan. Ohio State with a pair of power play goals. Michigan with one, but we have not had any penalties in this third period. You have to think if one is taken, it'll be a huge moment in this game. Both teams have been very careful to play cleaner here in this one. Slaker doing the draw, and he wins it, but Uitala was not ready, and the crowd not a fan of the early whistle.
At least he didn't get thrown out. That would have been a terrible call.
Slaker does win it anyway. Boca picks it up, and he'll just bank it off the boards to get it out, where Tommy Miller picks it up for Ohio State, skates backwards into his own end, and then they get set up. Wyatt Egge to Carson Meyer. Meyer comes right in. He takes a shot that's blocked off a body, and Nick Pastrov got held there, and there is no whistle. That's, oh boy. That was a pretty clear hold of the stick by Ohio State, preventing Pastrov from getting the puck. And the crowd, they haven't been too big of fans of the refereeing tonight. It's been a tough game to referee with so much action. Now loose puck in front, Carson Meyer. He's got it, he throws it right into the glove of Strauss-Mann. He's come up big tonight for the Wolverines.
That's another phenomenal save by Strauss-Mann. As I said, he just makes the crucial saves that the Wolverines need to come out victorious in the games that he plays in. Looks a lot better than the opposing goalie, Tommy Napier, tonight. Despite Napier being a better goaltender in general, he seems to be a little lost tonight between the pipes. And as you said also, the officiating has just been ridiculous, or lack thereof has been ridiculous in this game. Nick Pastrov Michael Pastrov was so clearly held by the stick, and just nothing was called.
Van Wy wins that draw. It definitely feels like there is an incentive to swallow the whistle here in the third period and just let him play, but you have to be careful of potential chippiness. Hughes skates past his own blue line, now past center, where he sends it on in. Dakota Raby, the first one to it, and he gets hit hard up against the boards, and it's a penalty coming. He's laying down motionless on the ice. That could be a 5-minute penalty. And now Michigan and Ohio State throwing some punches, and a punch thrown by Tanner Lisinski, and getting tied up is Saccone with, it looked like Ronnie Hine, who is screaming something, and the referee is separating him. Trying to look, and Raby he's still not barely moving. I don't know if it looks like his left skate is twitching, but Van Wy is yelling at the referee. It's going to be a penalty of some kind on Ohio State. They'll probably...
That has to be at least a 5-minute penalty.
That
was another violent hit, similar to the one that was taken by Blankenberg from Eugene Fadeo.
We'll see what the referees say here. Headed to the box is Perrin. And now Saccone, as the captain, is going to be speaking with the referees. Might have offsetting roughings on Ohio State and Michigan. Saccone is seated in the box. Raby is finally up and he's headed to the box. We'll see. Referees will probably be reviewing that.
That's got to be a 5-minute penalty, if not a game misconduct, because that looked very similar to the hit by Eugene Fadeo. Yeah,
and the crowd chanting, "Throw him out." This has just been undisciplined and dirty, dangerous hockey from Ohio State. There's no place for that in the game, and Steve Rawlick needs to be told by the referees to get his players under control, because this is going to spiral out of control without a change of action from Ohio State.
We're in for probably another very long review here, as that was just an absolutely dirty hit.
The referees now reviewing. 5:55 to go in period 3. Referees talking with the scorekeepers. And now the main door has opened up. I don't know if the computer's broken. Looks like event staff is walking down to try and help them in that box. The referee's talking to each other, and arguing there is Ronnie Hine. So stat broadcast has shown that it'll be Ciccone and Hine assessed 2-minute offsetting roughings, which you expect for that scrum afterwards. And there goes Tommy Perrin. He is out. Headed to the locker room. This is the second player for Ohio State thrown out tonight.
That is honestly inexcusable. I have never seen a team have 2 players thrown out in the same game, not even for a huge fight that occurred, for just dirty hits that took place literally periods away. I've never seen that happen before. Steve Rolick just needs to discipline his players more, because there's no place for hockey. Is hockey a violent game? Yeah, it's a violent game, but there's no place for that kind of violence in hockey. Violence that's not part of the game.
Crowd chanting as the referees are going to be now telling Slaker, who is going to be serving essentially as the captain since Ciccone is seated in the box. Fans very anxious. Slaker talking to the referee. Obviously, Ohio State will have to put someone in the box to serve the Perrin 5-minute major from checking from behind. We'll see what happens. It looks like it's going to be 17 coming to the box for Ohio State, which would be Sam McCormick. I guess they changed their mind on the Hine and Ciccone offsetting roughings. And so we're going to have another iteration of what happened earlier, with a 2-minute Michigan penalty and a 5-minute Ohio State penalty, providing 3 minutes of power play time after 2 minutes of 4-on-4.
So not only have I never seen that happen once in a game, I've never seen that happen twice in a game. This is just a very, very brutal game, and just a bitter game due to the rivalry between these two teams. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more scrums in these last 6 minutes of play.
So here we go off the face-off. Won by the Wolverines. Quinn Hughes got to be careful. Pursued by Mason Yops, who's really hacking away at him as Hughes comes skating in. Hughes cuts around and gets bumped from behind. Holds his own and gives it to Griffin Luce at the point. Hughes has to play with Luce with his partner Ciccone in the box. High rising shot, loose puck in front. Lockwood couldn't jam it home. Yops goes down behind the Ohio State net. Sasha Larocque gets it to Yops, and now he can finally try and get it out. A minute 25 remaining in the Ciccone penalty. And then a takeaway there from Garrett Van Wy. He's got some help from Luke Morgan. Van Wy cuts in, goes right to the net front. Loose puck. Morgan throws it from a bad angle and just couldn't get it home. Morgan trying to force a loose puck as they continue to battle away. Larocque dumps it behind. 4 minutes remaining in the penalty to Perrin. Larocque comes up with it. He streaks across the blue line. He takes a shot. Not close to the net. Van Wy will carry it out. He's got Blankenberg potential 2-on-2 rush. Blankenberg will just watch Van Wy skate in and send one high and over top. Boca has to come over and cut off Tanner Lasinski. Boca looking a little slow there. And now he curls with it. He's got a 2-on-2 with Van Wy. Boca throws one right in, and an easy save and the whistle. Face-off will be in the Ohio State end.
Yeah, and there's only 30 seconds left on the Ciccone penalty until Michigan will have a 5-on-4 power play for 3 minutes. You'd hope that they can convert on that and take the lead here, as that would take them almost to the end of the game.
And because it is a game misconduct, let's say Michigan scores at 2:52 remaining in the game, they would still get that whole rest of that power play time, of which there's a 55-second difference between the 5-minute major and the game's time.
Yeah, Michigan has been gifted a very good opportunity here to close this game out in regulation and grab the 3 points that they need if they want to secure a home game in the first round of the Big Ten tournament.
.424 remaining. In period number 3, 29 seconds left in the Saccone penalty, 3:29 to go on the penalty served by McCormick. Ohio State down 2 players because of these game misconduct penalties. Ohio State wins the draw, and it'll be Gordy Meyer skating out with it. He takes a shot that's blocked off the stick of Griffin Luce. Hughes goes in after it. He curls around and will set up shop with 13 seconds in the 4-on-4, and then it will become a 5-on-4 Michigan power play with Saccone to come out of the box. He can just jump right in on the power play, you'd think. And Hughes carries it in, was making sure to wait till Saccone's out of the box. Here he comes, and Michigan in the offensive end will get set up. They've got almost 3 full minutes of power play time. Lockwood to Hughes, over to Saccone on the right point. He's got Hughes on the left. Hughes skates, turns, he's got Slaker. Saccone at the top, takes a shot, blocked by Lockwood. And it also looked like Witala were both there where the shot came through. Mann puts it behind himself for Jake Slaker. Slaker got tapped by Witala. 3:25 to go in the third period, 2:30 to go in the penalty. Hughes up to Slaker, watched by Lockwood. Lockwood leaves it behind for Hughes. Hughes able to keep it in for a second, and then Pooley just clears it out. Again, this is a very good penalty-killing Ohio State team, so it's not going to come easy. Michigan just needs to get one good look. Saccone across center, looks for Hughes, can't quite find him. Michigan a little discombobulated right now. Hughes skates in across, onside. Michigan will send over for Lambert. He's got a look, throws to the net front, and a shot blocked by Jobst, and he clears all the way back down. Iowa State definitely knows what they're doing when it comes to penalty killing. Boca up to Summers and all the way in. Mike Pashtuov, and Summers just couldn't keep it in. 2:20 remaining in the game, 1:25 in the penalty. Ohio State's best penalty kill of the game right now going on. They're doing well to deny Michigan good-looking chances and getting right in the shooting lanes. Also trouble with the zone entries as it goes down into the corner. Becker trying to get it loose. Now Pashtuov sends it around. Summers is able to hold it in at the line. Goes down low for Lambert. Boca, and now they can get set up. Summers wants to get Lambert going. Boca down throw, they throw it in front. Becker gets to it, and he just can't keep it in. Summers has to recollect. 45 seconds to go in the penalty. Boca over to Summers. 1:32. Over to Lockwood. Lockwood skates across center, hands it off to Pashtuov. He's in on sides. Pashtuov lays it down for Lockwood. They jam away at it. Puck comes free to Lockwood. Lockwood holds, able to poke it to the side. Slaker to Saccone. Over to Hughes. Hughes going to skate in with it, goes around his defender. Hughes comes right in, going to try and wrap it around. He got harassed. Slaker, another try for Lockwood on the side. Ohio State about to get McCormick finally out of the box with 5 seconds left. Now Hughes was harassed and hit, and now he finally carries away with it. Man out of the box for Ohio State, but still time. They send it across, waits, shoots! High save there by Napier. Gets his glove on it, and the Napier's helmet came off. Must not have had it on very tightly. 46.7 to go.
He didn't really get hit by anyone there. Just kind of dove for the puck, and his helmet came off. Little scrum after for about 2 seconds because you got to protect your goalie, but no serious damage to Tommy Napier there. It looks like there's actually a problem with his helmet as someone from the Ohio State staff is now out on the ice.
That's what you'd think. Penn State's gotten one back, but it's 3-1 Wisconsin over Penn State midway through period number 2. In that game, Michigan 46.7 seconds away from the overtime, but the overtime doesn't give you points. You need to get through the first 5-minute 4-on-4 to get to the second OT, which is marked as a tie for national standings, but the extra point available for the Big Ten play. Once upon a time early in this season, Michigan was very familiar with those double OT situations. They got in a lot of sort of tie-type games early in the year, and then since then it's been a lot of just win one, lose one. That's been the story of the second half of the year, trying to get a sweep of Ohio State.
Yeah, Michigan has really not been able to muster a couple wins in a row. Oh, actually,
they did over MSU, yeah. But that was the breaker because so many series prior to that had been problematic. Here we go, 46.7 seconds, and Garrett Van Wy loses the draw. Ohio State is able to chip it out into the stands, and the crowd going wild as it will just be another face-off. 42 seconds remaining in the game. Same spot, shots 29-23 in favor of Michigan. A very hard-fought, well-contested game. Van Wy with Raby to his right and Moyle to his left. Loose at the point and Boca on the right side. That face-off tied up. Ohio State comes away with it very quickly and just dumping it down. Lisinski, and nice takeaway there from Griffin Luce, lays it behind for his defense mate, one of the seniors, Nick Boca. Boca dumps it behind himself for Luce. 23 seconds remaining in regulation. Boca up, and Moyle got a piece of it, so no icing as Tommy Miller goes in after it. Raby is able to take the puck away from him and get it to Van Wy, but then Van Wy loses it. 10 seconds remaining. Raby pinches. Lisinski had it and lost it. Raby, 5 seconds remaining. 4 seconds, 3. It's a big scrum along right in front of the Michigan bench, and the horn sounds. That's the end of regulation. Score 3-3. Michigan, a very hectic third period, but they got the goal they needed to tie the game from Nolan Moyle, and so we get 5 extra minutes. It'll be a 1-minute break before these two teams are expected to go right back out there.
Yeah, I really thought Michigan had the chance to really put this one away with that 3-minute power play at the end of that basically brought them to the end of the game, but they just couldn't do it. All you can really ask for now is for Michigan to get through these 5 minutes because Ohio State looks to be the more dangerous team right now. So you just want to get any points you can right now in this tight Big Ten race.
Well, of course, if these 5 minutes can go past, then Ohio State will emerge from this game as the Big Ten regular season champion, locking up the #1 seed. If they can get through the 5 minutes, then Michigan will move back into a tie with Notre Dame at 34 points with a chance to control their own destiny over Notre Dame if they can get that second point in the 3-on-3 or in the shootout. Penn State still in the middle of their game. Michigan can get some distance over PSU. If Wisconsin can do their job and close out the Nittany Lions, and Michigan can get to the 5 additional minutes, but this is not the easiest to just get through 5 minutes of play. Overtime very contentious, and one big mistake can end the game, so this has been a wild game. Goals for Michigan coming from Blankenberg, Ciccone, and Moyle, 2 defensemen and a 4th line forward. Meyer, Witala, and Kearney, the goal scorers for Ohio State. Michigan puts their top line out there to start this 5-on-5 overtime period. The second OT would be 3-on-3. Nick Pastuov and Mason Yopst going at it, and Yopst wins it. Ohio State's won about the last 3 faceoffs. That one goes high over top the Michigan net, back in the zone. Hughes trying to clear it out, and I think Ohio State got a piece of that one, or nope, it just went off Hughes himself, so it'll be a face-off to the right of Hayden Levine.
Or
excuse me, Strauss. Yeah, that's instinctive from last year.
I honestly, unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State scores fairly early into this period.
It feels like you need to weather the first minute or two of this overtime storm. Michigan's been in a couple of these. They most hilariously lost to Penn State back in, I believe it was November, and I think it was about 9 seconds into the overtime period. Wyatt Egge against the boards, and to the point at Preston. He flips it up into the air. Saccone for his check on Pooley. Yopst has got it. He goes to the top. Egge, a shot. Miller, oh boy, that was a dangerous looking shot. Morgan, a nice job to just chip it out of the Michigan end. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in overtime. Miller across to Quinn Preston, and he has a nice outlet pass there with Girard's got some space. He tried to find Preston behind, couldn't get it to him. Quinn Hughes will try to clear it out, but can't do so, and it's held in. Pashtuov looks for Saccone. He's not quite there. Lisinski in position. 1 minute gone in the overtime, and now a loose puck in front of the net. Girard across for Ronnie Hine. Hine throws it off the side of the cage, and now it's still loose down there. Ohio State picks it up, and now a shot. That one goes wide, rattles all the way around to LaRocque at the point. He fans on it. Morgan's got an opportunity to get it out, but he just can't. Ohio State, a lot of extended time, but finally Luke Morgan getting his stick on it. Michigan can change their guys, but very living dangerously in the first minute 20 of overtime.
Yeah, Ohio State definitely has the upper hand right now, controlling the puck. Michigan hasn't really had the puck for more than 5 or so seconds in this overtime period. Ohio State playing better hockey right now, and nothing in this game that happened prior matters except for what happens in this next 3 minutes or 3 minutes and change. See if the Wolverines can change it up here.
Slaker can't win that draw, and a shot from the point by the Buckeyes, and cycled around. Michael Pashtuov needs to get it out, and he finally sends it over to Boca. Boca will skate across center to Slaker. Michigan unable to enter the zone properly there. Now the Buckeyes come back the other way. Brandon Kearney sends it down low for Strauss-Mann. Saccone to Slaker, and Slaker skates across center over to Lambert. A shot right into the body of Napier. 3:11 remaining in overtime. That's the first decent look for the Wolverines. Jimmy Lambert just fired it right in to the chest of Napier for the easy save.
Yeah, that was the first opportunity we've seen for the Wolverines this overtime period so far. Haven't really had possession of the puck. Let's see if Van Wy can win the face-off here and let the Wolverines set up their offense.
Garrett Van Wy to take the draw. Moyle to his left and Raby to his right, and poked up to the side. Tie up in the Ohio State end. Now getting to it is Dakota Raby to Van Wy. Oh, he almost got it down low to Moyle, and now Ohio State carries out the other direction. Here they come, and a shot is blocked as it went down in the vicinity of the netminder, then tied up in the corner. A lot of pushing and shoving. 2:45 remaining in overtime. Pushed around, waiting for Blankenberg, trying to get it free. Now looked like Hine did. He found Freddie Girard. Now they get it across for Gordy Meyer. He skates around, looks through the crease, and couldn't connect with Ronnie Hine. 2:30 remaining, halfway gone in the OT. Wyatt Egge almost lost it off sides. And now skating in, a chance. Girard, a shot. Deflected. A huge, just massive bodies in front. Now Dakota Raby to it. He'll flip it up into the air and finally get it out for the Wolverines. And Ohio State offsides. Mason Yopst gets pushed down there by Blankenberg after the play. Meyer comes over to say something to Blankenberg. Ohio State's looked like the stronger team in this overtime, but Michigan just 2 minutes, 10 seconds away from that crucial point if they can reach for the finish line, but they need to close out strong.
Yeah, at this point, all that matters is grabbing that point in these tight end-of-the-season races. That's all that matters, the point count, not how you get them. and that's all Michigan needs to do is grab this 1 point at least.
Shots 30-24 in favor of Michigan. It'll be the top line for the Wolverines against the top line for Ohio State. Yost was in there a little early. Michigan fans want him thrown out. They'll let him get a second chance, and then it is Mike Pastuov pushing it forward for Will Lockwood. Lockwood brings it on in and loses his edge. Goes right down, and unfortunate there for Michigan as they looked like they had a decent opportunity coming. Up to Quinn Preston. He comes down the right wing side. Preston cuts into the middle. Takeaway there nicely by Pastuov. Looking for Lockwood. Can't quite connect with him. Pastuov chips it in. Michigan has to collect themselves back on sides. 1:45 remaining. Long stretch pass for Pooley. Couldn't find him. Saccone looked for Nick Pastuov, and that's going to be an icing, unfortunately, for the Wolverines. 1:37 remaining in overtime. Big face-off upcoming for Pastuov as Ohio State is able to sub their second line on. It'll be Pastuov against Brandon Kearney. 97 seconds remaining. And I think Ohio State's going to take their timeout. Michigan used theirs back in the middle of the third period. Oh no, Michigan is going to use their timeout. They got a second one thanks to the OT.
Well, yeah, that would make more sense. Ohio State seems to be the better team right now. They are the better team in general, but for most of the game, it's looked to be pretty evenly matched. But Ohio State has mainly dominated this overtime period, hoping the Wolverines can just weather these last minute 30 seconds of the period and help themselves so much in this Big Ten race by doing that.
16 seconds left in the Michigan timeout, and then both teams will have to break. In the maize out in the senior night, last home regular season game for Michigan, they entered this one at 13-12-6, 9-8-4 in the Big Ten. Michigan 2-2 in that extended double OT shootout situations, which they're close but not quite there in terms of trying to reach for it. Wisconsin, by the way, has poured on 2 more against Penn State. They're up 5-1 over the Nittany Lions. That looks like a very good result for Michigan. But they need
just a good result in general.
Need to take care of business here. Here's the big face-off between Pastuov and Yost to the right of Straussman in the Michigan end. And unable to win it was Pastuov, but Ohio State has to quickly chip it down where it's behind the net. Buckeyes control and get it to the point. Tommy Miller, he throws it wide of the net. And Luce pokes it to the side. Lockwood picks it up. He just needs to get it out, and he does. Banks it off the boards. Miller over to Wyatt Egge. Egge as one that goes in off sides for Ohio State. 1 minute, 11 seconds remaining. As a game recap, it's 3-3 Michigan and Ohio State. A series of game misconducts offered to Eugene Fediev, as well as Tommy Perrin was the other one. So Ohio State is short their number 2 defenseman and their fourth line center. Fourth line for Ohio State hasn't really been out there much at all recently. Michigan rolls with their fourth line a lot. They roll with their fourth line more than their third line. Face-off won by Ohio State. Miller sends it in. Boca will just chip it off the boards and down. Here comes Raby after it, but it goes into the Ohio State bench. So face-off will stay in the Michigan end. These dangerous defensive zone face-offs. 1 minute, 2 seconds, 62 seconds away.
And this overtime period just seems to be dragging on.
Yeah.
Just it feels like forever when you're just waiting for your team to last out those final minute or two of play. I'm hoping the Wolverines can just grab 1 point here.
Van Wy is able to tie up Yost, and then Boca picks it free. 1 minute remaining in the overtime period. Boca over Raby, battled for, and we're going to get a hand pass on Ohio State, I believe, which will bring the face-off out of the defensive end, which means Michigan can finally get their fourth line off. 53.9. It's these little spurts. 9 seconds off and then another whistle. 10 seconds off, then another whistle. Michigan reaching out. It doesn't take that much more to get them to the overtime, where both teams will be quite happy with a 1-point result, and then they battle for the extra one in the double OT 3-on-3. Van Wy to do the draw against Ronnie Hine. They decide to leave the fourth line out there. They like Van Wy's face-off abilities, but he didn't quite do it there. Egge sends it in. Straussman puts it to Quinn Hughes' side. Hughes stands behind his own cage. 45 seconds remaining. Kind of wish that Hughes could just stand there for the remaining 45 seconds. He curls around, being very conservative, getting it to Ciccone. Ciccone up. Moyle gets a piece, so no icing. 32 seconds left. Down behind his own net is Napier. Sends it up where Quinn Hughes will hold on to it. An Ohio State player fell down. Hughes always living so dangerously with those little spin moves. Raby tried to dump it into the Ohio State end, couldn't quite do so. 15 seconds remaining. Into Ronnie Hine in the middle. Potential 3-on-2. We'll see how they set it up. Tanner Lisinski, great play there by Quinn Hughes to break it up on a poke check. Hughes comes in with it. 3 seconds remaining. 2. Raby skates in. He gets tripped! And the horn sounds. That will probably be a penalty, though, to start the 3-on-3 period. It'll be a tripping penalty to Ohio State as Raby went down. Michigan will start 4-on-3 in the second overtime period. But for now, both teams get their point. Ohio State up to 42 points, which guarantees them the #1 seed in the first-round bye in the Big Ten hockey tournament. Michigan up to 34 points. It'll be Mason Yops, the veteran captain for Ohio State, headed to the box.
And this is going to be another great opportunity for the Wolverines to grab an extra point in this contest. Just to look like the Buckeyes might score as time ran out. Quinn Hughes with a phenomenal takeaway, and it goes almost all the way the length of the ice for a Wolverine goal as soon as time expired, but Dakota Raby tripped up by Mason Yops at the end.
So the double OT coming as it's marketed on the Jumbotron as period 5. These two teams are approaching. They've already played 65 minutes, 5 more minutes up on the board that could take them to 70 minutes played. An exhausting weekend. Michigan right now got the 3 points last night. They get a point here, so heading into the weekend, you kind of felt that to lock up home ice in the first round of the tournament, you'd need a split. They've already got at least 4 points, and they can battle for a 5th, which would be very close to a best-case scenario weekend. And with the 4-on-3, that's always, as they used to call it, the Gretzky penalty, where the Edmonton Oilers of the 80s are so dangerous in the 4-on-3 power plays. Michigan in the 4-on-3 power play for 2 minutes to start period 5. You get the wide open ice and let your best skaters go to work, and for that, it's Will Lockwood and Quinn Hughes. Nick Pastrov had won the draw, and we're going to get a penalty immediately on Will Lockwood for interference. He is furious, kicking his stick as he and John Witala had just kind of tripped over each other. I'm not a big fan of that call.
That's a terrible call in my opinion. They literally just got tied up in skates together and fell down. Like, you see so many of those calls in the NBA, but you don't really see them in hockey much. I think this is a terrible call. It completely takes away, he barely fell over him too, completely takes away this opportunity for Michigan.
It was Lockwood's stick went in between the legs of Witala, and Witala got tripped over as the stick went between his legs. Nothing Lockwood could do, and so as a result, we get just basically a full 5 minutes of 3-on-3. I believe, unless it is an extended 4-on-4. I'm trying to remember what happens in those situations. It looks like 3 skaters out there for Michigan.
A lot of open ice here for both teams to work with.
Yep.
The thing I like about 3-on-3 is that there's no room for error. One mistake, and you got an odd man rush the other way. Sometimes even with no defenseman back, because a lot of times on a 3-on-3, the defenseman will try to play up for more offense, and a team can go on the counterattack, much like in soccer, with no one back to defend.
15 penalties now in this game. Very physical and big battle between these two teams. 4:54 to go in double OT, as that penalty called just 6 minutes into the start of the situation. 3-on-3, here we go. Wyatt Egge to Quinn Preston. He steps up, and his shot off the stick of Garrett Van Wyse, so we'll do a very quick face-off right afterwards.
I really don't know what to expect anymore. Just when I think that one team has it going their way, there's either a penalty or an incredible save or an incredible scrum in front of the net that saves a goal. And at this point, both teams are happy with the point. Let's just enjoy the rest of this hockey game, I guess.
Pashtuov sort of just got it out. Slaker trying to go down the wing. He fell down. Crowd wants an interference call. That's a very borderline one. And now flying down the right wing side is Freddie Girard. He comes in and stick check there by Nick Pashtuov very well. And so Hughes will just let the Soldiers get set up. 3-on-3 rush the other direction. Nick Pashtuov across center, across the blue line. He weaves on in, and then a takeaway by Wyatt Egge. Potential 2-on-1. Pashtuov's got to get back. He's very slow to do so. Egge's shot right into the glove of Straussman, who comes up big.
And another spectacular save by Straussman. The quick glove hand, just snatching it out of midair. This freshman is going to be a big part of the Wolverines' hockey success for the coming years.
.4:11 to go in double overtime. Face off to Straussman's left. And Raby's able to get it out. And then quickly turned around the other way. Ohio State on in on a 3-on-2 towards the net. And into Mann's body, and then the net was quickly dislodged. 4 minutes even remaining. 1 minute even remaining on the Yops penalty. 1 minute 6 remaining on the Lockwood penalty. So technically Ohio State will have 6 seconds of a 4-on-3 penalty. And then when Lockwood comes out, it'll be 4-on-4 until the next whistle, at which point the extra skaters for both teams will be carted off.
In another period that seems to just be dragging on right now.
This is the end. This has been a long game. After a quick first period, really bogged down. Witala wins that draw. He carries it behind. He's out there with Lisinski and Gordy Meyer off the stick, and now pinned up against the boards. Van Wy able to kind of tussle with Lisinski, and Witala content to just carry it out. Holding it is Gordy Meyer. Michigan gets a change. Slaker is on. Meyer skates on in. He goes wide around Ciccone, looking to try and find a pass, and then he lost it off his stick. Ciccone got a piece. Here comes Dakota Raby. Here's a rush, maybe a 3-on-2. Raby on in. Raby across. Oh, I think it might have gotten the post, and then a wraparound try. Raby gets pushed down in front, and then nothing comes. 14 seconds remaining in Yops' penalty as we're approaching 3 minutes to go in double overtime. Yops getting ready as the door to the box is opening up. 3 seconds, and LaRocque is just waiting for Yops to be out. Here he comes, but they'll begin. And there's the long breakaway. Yops has got it. They found that pass beautifully. Yops, and he scores. And Ohio State gets the extra point. A hard-fought game, and that is a really tough one for Nick Boca, who slammed his stick in half because he got caught napping. He did not recognize that Yops was coming out of the box, and Yops was allowed to get behind Boca and that long stretch pass for the breakaway. So Ohio State gets the extra point in what will be officially marked as a tie. Ohio State gets 2 points this weekend, and Michigan gets 4. Still a solid weekend for the Wolverines, if a tough ending tonight.
No, although the Wolverines lost, they, as you said, they got the point, which is very crucial in this tight Big Ten race at the end of the season. And besides Nick Boca kind of sleeping on that last that last couple seconds when Mason Yopst came out of the box, there were no glaring errors in the Wolverines play tonight, which is what I like to see, especially against the best team in the Big Ten and one of the best teams in the country, ranked at number 6 right now. Strauss-Mann, another incredible game. The power play was pretty good tonight. The penalty kill was pretty good tonight. That in the first period, Quinn Hughes' shot hitting the post and then Brendan Warren getting that major, which led to the first Ohio State goal, was the real killer. Overall, I think a very good game for the Wolverines tonight.
Entering the weekend, you wanted a split. Michigan gets 4 of 6 points. And the Big Ten standings currently, Ohio State 43, Notre Dame 34, Michigan 34, Minnesota 36, but they're out of games left to be played. So one Michigan win in Madison will lock up that home first-round series. Penn State at 32 points with their game going on, still trailing 5-2 in the second intermission. So Michigan in a position to potentially get a top 3 seed in the Big Ten tournament. It's going to take a good weekend in Madison. They showed a lot of stuff, and they played very, very well.
Yeah, totally right. All it takes is literally one win for them to secure this home advantage in the Big Ten tournament for the first round. I think that's honestly a good result, being how different the season's gone than people imagined it would with such high expectations. And once you get to the Big Ten tournament, anything's possible. You said they've beaten every team in the Big Ten at least once. You just need to you to win 3 games in the Big Ten tournament.
Well, it's a 2 out of 3 first round, and then after that, one game to win. So a total of 4 games.
You got to win 4 games in the Big Ten tournament. Very doable, especially with the fact that they should have a pretty favorable matchup in the first round. They just got to keep playing hard and doing what they're doing right now.
Yeah, definitely a very eventful weekend. Some long hockey games. A lot of action. Any last thoughts?
As disappointing as this team has been this season, they're not dead yet.
Yep.
They're not dead yet. They got to keep fighting. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're playing in the NCAA tournament in a couple weeks. They've
got a real good shot. We won't have any of the games next week in Madison, but we'll probably have any home Yost tournament games after that. Until then, Charlie Goodwin, Alex Drain from Yost. Final score, Ohio State 4, Michigan 3 in double overtime. Good night, and go blue.